Come and see about it. Yeah. Come and see about it. I got the game with me, come and see about it. Yeah. Come and see about it. I got the game with me, come and see about it. Come and see about it. Come and see about it. Come and see about it.
We're live coming to you from Jim Wall Stadium, where the Basha Bears are taking on the Hamilton Huskies. I'm Jaden Ricken alongside my partner here, Tate Fitzpatrick. And Tate, this is a matchup I've been looking forward to for a while now. Two known powerhouse teams, and the Basha offense has been cooking behind Brody Veers and his connection with Gio Richardson. The run game has also done some damage behind four-star sophomore running back Noah Roberts, but we'll talk more about that later. On the other hand, the Bears' defense has also played really well behind junior Eli Kramer-Cronin and the secondary. Look for them to put a lot of pressure on Hamilton's quarterback, Rich Lucero Jr. tonight.
Jaden, that's going to be key coming into this game tonight. Lucero's thrown 4 interceptions, and the team already has 2 fumbles on the season. If Basha can disrupt him and get him out of the pocket, it's going to be a long night for the Huskies. And
one bonus is that Lucero will be getting an offensive weapon in Saguaro transfer Reese Rinaldi, who will get to play for the first time this season. Before the move, Rinaldi had 457 yards and 4 touchdowns last season, and he also set a school record for the 400 track. So he definitely has some speed.
I'm sure the Huskies will be glad to have some of his speed with them finally. I'm excited to see how the chemistry will be with him and Lucero Jr., who already has over 1,300 passing yards this season.
And seeing as he hasn't played a game yet, it's something the defense will have to make adjustments for. Speaking of adjustments, Hamilton's defense has played well against the competition they've faced. They're 5-0 right now, but the competition they've played haven't been ranked high. So getting a win tonight against Basha would definitely help them move up the rankings. The Hamilton defense is going to have to defend against a high-powered offense with the Bears. They're coming in hot off of a close 35-32 win against Brophy last week.
The score is a little closer than the game actually was. The Huskies are going to have to stop sophomore running back Noah Roberts, who continued to tear it up last week with 140 rush yards and 2 touchdowns, which gives him 11 on the year now. Alongside him was Josh Gaines. Gaines ran for 114 yards and 1 touchdown in his first game after transferring. This week, he's now playing against his former team, and for him, it's personal.
Well, there's a reason Basha's ranked first in the 6A conference, Tate.
Definitely, and something else to keep in mind is the playoff implication of this game. Right now, the Bears are ranked 4th in the Open and 1st in 6A, while the Huskies are 10th in 6A, 1 spot outside of Open contention.
What's interesting about that is that the Huskies haven't lost a game all year. Like we mentioned earlier, they're 5-0, but the teams they've beaten haven't been ranked as high. So a huge upset against Basha would definitely potentially put them in contention for the Open division.
Yeah, I wouldn't count them out just yet.
Joining us now on the sideline is Emmett Morris for our injury update. Emmett, how are these two teams looking?
Jaden, some news out of the locker room as starting quarterback Mello Adams is out tonight and the rest of the season with an arm injury. Also being out tonight is safety Caden Smith, who's out with a thumb injury, and Dante Bruley, who's out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Both E.J. Washington and Jeremiah Grimes came into this game questionable, but they will both play tonight. Over on Hamilton, cornerback Dejon Hinton will be out tonight with an injury. Back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Emmett. Tate, tonight is going to be a battle between both of these coaching staffs. What should we expect from Basha head coach Chris McDonald?
I spoke to Coach McDonald earlier this week, and he said the keys to the game are establishing the run early, bringing the pressure on Hamilton QB Rich Lucero Jr., and being more disciplined than they have in the previous weeks. But Hamilton alumni, now current head coach Travis Dixon, isn't worried.
Well, Tate, we got to talk more about Coach Dixon. He was QB1 for Hamilton 20 years ago, where he took them all the way to the state championship and won. Then he went on to play for UNLV as a safety before coming back home to coach high school, where in 2022 he won a championship with Higley. Now, as head coach at Hamilton, his homecoming serves as a fresh start for the Huskies.
When we talked to him just a few minutes ago, he said the team was fired up for tonight and is confident about their ability to go out and win this game.
It's going to be a good one. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the national anthem.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Jim Wall Stadium. Tonight's matchup pits the Huskies of Hamilton High against your Basha Bears. At this time, we would ask that our football fans rise and remove your caps. And we would like to have a moment of silence for cancer awareness. Thank you. Now, at this time, please welcome your very own AFJ ROTC color guard to present our colors for our national anthem, sung by our very own Basha Choir.
We welcome you back from the national anthem. We're going to get ready for the coin toss over here tonight. And Tate, I'm a little sad right now. You want to know why? It's our final home game of the season, which means for now this will be our final broadcasted game of the season. We may potentially be able to do a playoff game, although that's still in the works. So we want to thank everybody who's joined us for our last 4 games, and we're excited to give you our best product for potentially our 5th and final game of the season tonight.
Yeah, it really is a sad thing that we are unfortunately not able to get the playoff game. Hopefully we can pull some strings, maybe get it, but as of right now, this will be our last game, so we're going to try and make the best product tonight that we have all season. And
I think that's something the Bears are going to do as well, right? They have a packed-out stadium, and they're all wearing pink out. Tonight's Breast Cancer Awareness Night. You can see that on their jerseys. You can also see it on some of us during our little introduction. I'm wearing the pink tie tonight. Tate's got the pink flamingo-type shirt, and then you saw Emmett Morris in his full pink suit. I don't know where he got that, but, you know, to each their own. But the Bears have to play well tonight. This is their final home game of the season. It's against a 6A rival in the Hamilton Huskies. This game could affect rankings also depending on who wins or loses, so I expect them to come out fierce tonight.
Yeah, it really is a big game for both these teams. We talked a little bit about the AAA scene and how the open division, some people say Basha was a little bit cheated there, getting the 4th ranked spot, but if Higley loses this game, there's a good chance they don't even make the open at all.
We take a look at some of our captains out there tonight. You can see Sam Garcia, one of Basha's biggest linemen, along some other stars out there as well. Love to see them out there as always. The guy I'm most excited to see out there right now is Blue Dantzler, right there, number 10. We know that he was injured a few weeks ago, and they kind of held him for the last few games, but it looks like he's back fully in pads. He's out there as a captain. I would expect him to play tonight, and I expect him to make a big impact on that pressure we talked about that they're going to look to put on Lucero Jr.
Yeah, this week he's going to be playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, not being able to get some of his energy and his hype out from the last couple of games because of his injury. He obviously wants to go out there and play his best game tonight.
Very true, Tate. Very true. I just got to say, I love Pink Out Night. Thank you to the Basha Bear Booster Club, for putting this on, but this is one of my favorite nights. I love the jerseys. I think it's so cool that even in high school, you can have like an alternate jersey night. It's always cool to see. I know last year, not to, bring up old things, but the jerseys got all like scrunched up last year and it was hard to see the numbers, but I remembered them because of how, unique these jerseys are. And I think regardless of how scrunched up the numbers get, it really is such a great thing to have a booster this great, getting our athletes out there and making sure they look the best. Basha will kick off to start the night. Mikey Barth lines up. Kick is off. It's a low kick. He'll bounce at the 5 and into the end zone. It's fumbled down near the 1 yard line. He's able to pick it up, staying on his feet, running down, and he's tackled at about the 17 yard line.
That is number 81, Deshaun Ford, there on the muff kick. I don't really know what happened there for him. He just dropped the ball, caught it. Maybe he would be able to run to around the 25, but get stopped to, looks like, the 17.
First and 10 from the 22-yard line. Lucero Jr. is going to pitch it. On the ground he goes. He whips it outside. Sabrium Torres, no gain on the play.
Great play there by Basha. They ran the reverse. The Huskies ran the reverse, trying to get outside. They think that the Basha's defense is really weak there, trying to get outside, get the first down. Blue Dantzler able to get upfield. His other DN's able to get upfield and get the tackle.
Now moved a little farther back. They go for another pitch, this time to the opposite side of the field. On his feet, finally an ankle tackle.
Caleb Garcia with the tackle there. I'm surprised that he didn't get safety. I mean, he ran all the way back into the end zone.
That's our guy there, too, on that play. That's Reese Rinaldi. We talked about the Saguaro transfer who's waited half the season to finally get in and make an impact on this season. And there we go on his second play of the game. He's already getting the ball. See next time if he can potentially even turn that upfield for yards. Right now we're looking at 3rd and 18 from the 8. Lucero Jr. drops back to pass. He has pressure, gets it down the middle, and it's swatted away. Great defense there from Lincoln Hansen.
And that's something we've seen Basha really excel at this year, the pass defense. They have not allowed many pass yards against their opponents. Great bat down right there. Great defensive drive by Basha.
And there we go. We finally have the scoreboard up for you guys at home. You can enjoy that and hopefully get a little bit of an enhanced viewing experience. We apologize for some technical difficulties there, but it will now be 4th and 18 from the 8-yard line as the Huskies will punt, a 3-and-out for their first drive of the night. Dash Blake on the catch. He'll fight for yardage and be brought down at about the 42-yard line. The Bears starting their drive on great field position.
Very great start for the Bears. If you're a Bears fan right now, you're very happy. Start out 3-and-out. They actually gained negative yards on that drive. The punt returns it for 4 yards. Now you're inside of Husky territory and could do some real damage this drive.
Right now, Brody Veers is alone in the backfield. They're not going to go to their stud running game. And look at his pink cleats tonight, too. I'm really a big fan of those, Tate. Veers pitches it to Gio Richardson. Gio over to the left side. He's past the 40, stays on his feet and inbounds. He goes out at around the 30-yard line. It's a neat little play. Get it over to Gio.
We talked about their star running game. That is just an extension of that. The quick passes, the jet sweeps, whatever you want to call it. Gio running across field, gets it ball at full speed and able to turn it up for a big game.
Roberts now in the backfield as Blake motions over to the right side of the ball. Roberts down the middle. No gain on the play. And Tate, you got to let us know about all the offers Gio's been getting this week. He's already technically committed to U of A, but that hasn't stopped recruits from sending him more schools.
Yeah, there's been a lot of schools that have wanted him. He already has 418 yards on the season and 5 touchdowns. Very explosive player. I'm excited to see how he plays tonight.
2nd and 10 from the 32. The fake. Veers clocks it downfield. He's got his guy, and it's caught. Touchdown, Basha. A great start to the night to our guy, number 5, Gio Richardson.
Great play right there. Just runs a nice little post route. Beats him with his speed. Great throw, great catch. Great play by Basha.
Barth looks to make this 7-0 here on his first extra point of the night. At the beginning of the season, we talked so much about getting special teams under control, but once they started putting Hayden Rodriguez in as holder, they've been pretty dialed in. And there we go. Score is 7-0. 9:47 left in the first.
The streak is still alive. I mean, we've been talking a lot about how those can be game losers. Last night in the JV game, they tied 26-26. There were 2 missed extra points in that game. If they made at least one of those, they would have won.
Tate, you played in that JV game, right?
Yeah.
I heard some things I saw on social media, and I want to get your take, before I say anything that could be untrue, but you guys were leading at halftime by quite a lot, right?
Yeah, we were leading 20-3, I'm pretty sure.
And what was the final score?
26-26.
What happened?
We just started running the ball a little bit too much, and our offense was just not as good as it was first half. It just lost all of its momentum. One touchdown led to another, and then it just all came crashing down, and Hamilton was able to score a last-minute timeout.
And so JV doesn't have any overtime?
JV does not have any overtime. Surprised me, too, on the sideline last night.
I don't feel like it's very often you see overtime in high school, so I don't blame you there. Here comes the kick. This time it's a high one, back of the end zone, and that will be a touchback. There were some whistles on the sideline, it looks like now. Basha's going to have to re-kick the ball.
Seems to be somewhat of a false start on the Basha special teams.
That'll move the Bears back a little yards.
5 yards. Now they're going to kick the ball from the 35. Let's see if Mikey can still hit it to the end zone.
Barth, coming into this season, was ranked the number 2 kicker in the nation. Here's a chance to prove if he's really got that leg. It's going into the end zone, and there we go. Back-to-back touchbacks for Barth, even with the added 5-yard penalty.
Basha's defense taking the field yet again. Last drive, they held them to a 3-and-out. They actually made the Huskies lose some yards on that drive. See if they can repeat that performance.
See number 91 out there at nose tackle. That's Tony Tahi. He's actually going to scooch over now to the right side of the line. Stay tuned at halftime. We have a Bash's Best episode on him this week. And here we go. The snap is off. It's a handoff into bad traffic, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. Hamilton continues their streak of no yards.
The Basha defensive line right there just swallowing the running back right there. No room to go. Tony Tahi, we saw him getting on that tackle. They just made a wall and did not let him go through.
In for running back right now is number 9, Michael Smith III. Hasn't had any yardage tonight. This time he's going to drop back to pass. Lucero has pressure outside of the pocket. He starts to scramble and a big hit.
We see Blue Dantzler coming in there with that big hit. He tried to keep containing on Lucero Jr., couldn't get it, ran back, made the play. That's something coaches love to see. They actually call it loafs.
What does loafs mean, Tate?
So basically, loafs is when you walk, you don't go to the ball, you're just not really trying on the play. So that's a good example of what to do. If he were to just stay back near the 10-yard line away from the play, that would be a loaf.
And what I saw from Lucero there was he was kind of hesitating. He obviously scrambled outside of the pocket, went towards Basha's sideline, and instead of running out of bounds or sliding or whatever, he hesitated. Then he got hit from the side and the front. As a quarterback, you got to have a little bit more awareness there. Otherwise, you're going to take a lot of big hits like that throughout the night.
Speaking of big hits, Michael Smith III had some help off the field there. Yet another injury we've seen on this Basha field. Seems to be a lot this season.
Third and 12, back-to-back third downs. Torres motions over to the right side. 3 receivers out as now they're going to bunch in. Jacob Brown in the backfield in place of Smith III. Lucero gets a quick pass off, and he's tackled going out of bounds. Great job from the Basha defense there to get a stop on third down, and that was number 7, Trey Knox.
That was a little bit of a weird formation by the Bears right there. They had their defensive tackle, Ty Tuatelli, backed up from the line, showing that they were only going to rush 2 people. He came in. It was still only a 3-man rush. For some reason, Lucero Jr. still tried to get the ball out quickly.
That could be some of that pressure, you know. He's feeling the Basha's defensive line getting in there quickly, but that's back-to-back 3-and-outs for the Huskies. Stash Blake fields the punt for a gain of a few yards. Going to be another great start in terms of field position for the Bears on their second drive of the night here. Veers and Roberts, the dynamic duo of this Bears offense, they've been working to incorporate Josh Gaines, a Hamilton transfer who just became eligible in last week's win against Brophy. He hit the ground run, and he's done excellent. Expect to see him and Roberts switch off carries throughout the night. As Robert takes it down the gutter, stays on his feet, and gets tackled after a gain of 3.
Jason De La Torre with the tackle there. Great job breaking a couple tackles by Noah Roberts. Unable to break it for a big gain, but 4 yards, still pretty good for a first down play.
2nd and 6 now from Hamilton's 49-yard line. Veers alone in the backfield. He's looking out to his right. A quick pass over to the sideline. The move, cutting back in bounds. Tackled finally down at the 40. Gio Richardson.
Great play by Gio Richardson there. Able to use his really great agility to get past 2 defenders. Don't know why he turned back outside. Seemed like if he kept on going through the middle, he might have gotten 1-2 more yards.
What is that like in that situation, though, Tate? Do you really have that much time to think about, the entire field and where to run to, or is it just a split, quick second decision as flags fly over on the Basha sideline?
In a situation like that, you don't really have much time to think. It's more of it's muscle memory. It's what you've done in practice against a scout defense or even your own defense if your team is like that. So it's really just muscle memory, split-second decision. He doesn't have much time to think.
And that's Basha's second penalty of the night. Now it's 1st and 15. Roberts downfield.
We've seen this the past couple of weeks. Noah Roberts in the run game, kind of starting off with a slow start, but then nearing the end of the game, it ramps up and he starts breaking out for those long runs.
Keep in mind, if you haven't tuned in before, he's only a sophomore, and he's got a crazy amount of offers for that, which Tate, you can get into later. Veers was feeling the pressure there, was able to quickly get it out on his feet, finally tackled down Jaden Baldwin there with the great pickup.
Jaden Baldwin, nice play right there. Usually he doesn't get tackled in the open field like that. Surprising about that. But Noah Roberts, he's got offers from ASU, NAU, U of A, Tennessee, and even more, including Ohio State. He's got a lot of offers, and he's only a sophomore, like you said. He's had 2 great years for this Basha varsity team.
First and 10 as they go back to Roberts, out to the right side. He's going to go wide. Does he have a block? Yes, he does. Stays on his feet. There he goes, down at the 15-yard line. Great run there from Roberts.
And that was one of Basha's explosive runs right there. Great ball carrier vision. Supposed to run up the middle. Saw that the gap was covered. Bounces outside. Great blocks by the receivers, too. Able to gain about 10 yards.
First and 10 from the 16 now. Just under 5:20 remaining in the first quarter. Bears lead by 7. They've dominated this entire first quarter, as now Gaines will replace Roberts after his pickup. They go to Gaines. He whips it out to the left, and he is ankle tackled down at just about behind the line of scrimmage.
Xavion Brazil with the tackle there. Great job tackling Josh Gaines in the open field. We saw last game, first game he's played. Great job on breaking tackles last game. Usually he breaks those and turns them up big. Nice job by the Huskies.
There is a Hamilton injury on the field, so we will take a quick break as we hope that everything is okay. Second and 11 after Gaines was tackled for a loss of 1. Fake handoff to Roberts. Veers has an open field and he takes off. Great vision there as he just instantly thought to take off. A little reminiscent of a player who we will not mention ever on the Basha Bear Network.
I mean, that nameless player was really good at doing that last year and the years prior. But let's talk about that play for just a second. Basha has established the run game this game. They've shown that they could break out for big and that they could run through the middle. So now the Huskies are trying to force them to stop running by loading the box and sending their linebackers in. By doing that, though, you free up the outside, leaving Brody the ability to run out like that.
Building off of that, I've really liked what Basha's been able to do this drive. They've been running out the clock while also playing smart plays, getting consistent yardage. And here we go. There's some flags. Appears there's just a timeout.
Basha uses their first time out of the game.
This will be 3rd and 4. Want to make sure they have the right player assignments here and the right play call, everybody in the right spot. And I'm not mad at that call, you know. Sometimes you got to take a timeout, even if it's early like this right now. I trust that Coach McDonald is putting together the right scheme for Basha to run and score here. Expect a good play coming out of the timeout. And it looks like for this 3rd and 4, Roberts will be the running back of choice in the backfield. As Veers rolls out, he's got some pressure. He's going to go over to the sideline and just going to throw it away. Some commentators cursed there, perhaps tape, but that was a very not the result that Basha wanted there. Veers had instant pressure, and Roberts did all he could to try and get a block for him. No targets were open, and that's going to bring out the field goal crew.
Great play there by the Husky defense. We saw Jackson Powell getting in there, forcing Brody to throw that ball away. That's what you can also call a covered sack. Obviously, it wasn't a sack, but the defense was blanketing the Bears in the pass game, had nowhere to go.
Trying to spot the ball here. Going to put it all the way to the right. Interesting hash position here for Barth. Provide him a unique challenge here as compared to his extra point kicks being at a different angle. And with the penalty, it's going to be 4th and 12 from the 19. So over a 30-yard kick here for Barth. The kick is up, and it is no good. That went wide left there. Not what Barth wanted, but overall, I think that now's the time you get those type of kicks out of the way, Tate.
Yeah, as we've said before, he's a sophomore. He's still got 2 more years on this Basha team, assuming he doesn't transfer. The surprising thing about that kick is he hits those every day at practice. Those 30, 40-yarders, he hits them in his sleep. Maybe it's the game scenario. I don't know what was wrong. Maybe something got in his head. What do you think, Jade?
Well, I probably think it's a culmination of all of those things. It could have even been a snap, right? Or having that defensive line pressure come in is just, a little like, you get a little nervous, you see it, you're worried. There's a lot that we don't know about his mental status there, but I think it's good to get those misses out now as a quick slant is completed. Some positive yardage for the Huskies as Roy Oliver III was the one with the reception.
Roy Oliver III, we got to talk about him for a little bit. He's a freshman playing at a varsity level. Not only that, he's their leading receiver. We were talking to Coach Dickinson before the game. He said he really loves the way he plays.
And more yardage for the Huskies here as Torres is able to get up to the 40-yard line. And like you were saying, Oliver III, he's got 5 touchdowns already this season for 357 yards. And his average is crazy. He's averaging 23.6 yards a catch. Another flag. Huskies are already moving backwards.
That's something with that hurry-up offense that the Huskies are trying to establish. You get a lot of O-line jumps. Maybe it was one of the receivers, miscommunications. That causes some flags that could set you back 5-10 yards.
Coach McDonald talked to us about being more disciplined as one of his keys to winning this game, and we hear that every time. And then the Bears end up having a lot of penalties during that game, and I don't know how much. He also said that you can really practice for things like that, but pressure here on Lucero Jr. as he overthrows one of his other top targets. Logan James was the intended tight end there.
Logan James is wide open on that play. Just a missed throw by Rich Lucero Jr. Caleb Garcia, though, on the coverage, if he had looked for the ball instead of going for the receiver, he might have been able to pick that off.
And he's been one of Basha's best defensive backs all year consistently. You don't hear his name too much, though, because his coverage is great. They never throw it around him. Lucero Jr., quick pass out to the right. Cuts up field, but a great ankle tackle there from Hansen. And Hansen was one of the people who really sealed the deal for the Bears last week against Brophy. There were, Basha was up, and then they started to let the game get a little close, and the Broncos, had about a minute left in the game, a little bit over that, and they were going to get the ball back. It was a 3-point game. Basha punts it over, and Lincoln Hansen's able to recover the punt after it was muffled. He was able to seal the deal. He had a great game last week, and he looks to be carrying over that momentum into this one as well. Lucero has pressure, throws it into deep coverage. He had nowhere else to really throw it to there. Tyshawn Ford is who he was looking for, but he was in double coverage.
We see Jeremiah Grimes there on the defense for Basha. He's another player. We haven't really talked about him much. He's been injured most of the season. He's a sophomore. Since the spring season, really, he's been put up to the varsity team. No doubt he's going to be a star in the future.
And now brings up 4th and 13 for the Huskies as they are going to now punt for their 3rd time tonight. This punt is up, and it's a deep one. Great punt there as Dash Blake has to run about 5 yards backwards, makes a move, out to his left. Can he stay on his feet? Dash Blake has room to run. Stiff arms, and there he goes, out at about the 33-yard line. What a punt return there from Dash Blake.
We haven't really seen much from Dash Blake this game in terms of punt returns, but that one is really, really good for him. Gets the momentum high on Basha. He had to run back like 10 yards to track that ball in the air, catches it perfectly, and then returns it to the 35. What a play. Excited to see him catch some more of those later this game.
And you had a great punt there from Hamilton into a great reception from the Bears. Overall, although you let Dash get some yards off of that, both sides have to feel pretty proud with their performance on that play. Veers in no man's land. He's going to scramble out to his left. He's got room to run. And there he goes down at about, he stays in, he makes a move, finally tapped out at the 50-yard line. I really thought he went out there. He juked me out as well.
Yeah, I think that the refs, the coaches, all the players on the field, they thought he stayed in. They mark him down. Still a first down, great gain. Just wish, Basha fans wish that he stayed in bounds there.
And so they'll mark him out at the 48. A little bit shorter. 1st and 10 now, 2:19 remaining in the first quarter. The Bears looking to make up for their failed scoring attempts last drive. They play it safe, handoff to Roberts. He's tackled after 2.
Great job there by the Huskies defensive line, not letting him gain any yards, maybe 1, but great job neutralizing him. We saw him with the 12-yard run earlier, whatever it was, and a couple of 5-yard runs. They've really got to stop him if they want to win this game.
2nd and 9. Basha's offense, they've done a very great job of going downfield and having a long drive so far this game. Quick pass out to the right in the backfield. Tries to get the stiff arm, and he's able to fall for a few more. Great job of getting some yards after contact there.
Jaden Baldwin right there with the reception. We see the Bears using him a lot on those short passes, those screens, sometimes slants. But he's really good at that run after catch, catching the ball, breaking some tackles, juking people out to gain those extra yards.
And now here we come on 3rd and short. Little run pass option. Veers tries to make a quick pass over to Gio. The ball was underthrown, almost picked off as well. That would have not been ideal for the Bears, as now they are going to have 4th and short.
Great play call by the Huskies there. We can see they blitzed the nickel backer. He was coming in fast, almost sacked Brody, was on his blind side, didn't see him, had to throw it away quick. Unfortunately, it was a bad throw.
Look at this. Basha's going to at least try and go for it here on 4th down. They get flags. It looks like Basha was the one to jump.
Mason Comer there on the jump.
Mason Comer, right? He played some defensive line last year. They moved him over to starting tight end this year. Now, he hasn't seen a crazy amount of targets, but the ones that he has seen, he's been able to clutch on. He's able to make the catch. He's able to get downfield. He got a score earlier this season. He's got some offers to some smaller schools like San Diego. He hasn't seen really anything in these past few weeks, and as a tight end, you really don't want to be making a mistake like that if you're looking to get more yards. And a high snap there. And now the punt is going to be very, very short. We'll see if it gets a good bounce for the Bears. Yes, it does. And he's tackled right down just at about the 17-yard line. It bounced into his hands. He wasn't even ready for that.
Basha's defense taking the field yet again. We've already seen 3 punts from the Huskies tonight. They're really playing great if you're on Basha. Let's see if they can hold him here.
And that was Jacob DuBois with the punt recovery. Now 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. Another drive backed up close to their own end zone.
We see a false start on the offense, bringing him back yet another 5 yards.
It's going to put him at the 8, and if Basha, if I'm the coach here, I'm bringing in the pressure, right? You want to see if you can get Lucero Jr. to either make a bad pass or put so much pressure on him you're able to get a stack and even potentially a safety here, put 2 more on the board. Some very crazy motion on the line causes flags to fly all over.
Refs are talking in the field, deciding whether or not it was an encroachment or a false start.
If this goes Basha's way, Hamilton is going to be so very close to their own goal line.
And it will be another false start, moving the Huskies farther back.
And you definitely got to bring the pressure now, Tate. I mean, come on. They're going to be on, what, the 4-yard line?
Even further back at the 3.
Yeah. 3-yard line. We'll see if the Bears bring the pressure here on Lucero Jr. Jacob Brown is the running back in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Brown. He's looking downfield. Let's see if Basha can make the coverage. Oh, and that would have been a crazy catch from Oliver Jr. A helmet catch. Couldn't hold on to it as he was going down backwards. Good recovery there from Basha to be able to get in there and technically get a pass breakup from that coverage.
Great play on both sides. Basha, though, I'm surprised they didn't bring even more pressure. They only blitzed the one linebacker on Eli Kramer-Cronin. I would expect them to maybe blitz Mark Dorson with him this play, try and go a little bit cover 0 and get them down in the end zone.
It's going to be 2nd and 18. I'll be interested to see if Hamilton just ends up running it here, not wanting to risk anything in the passing game, or if they do decide to risk it and potentially convert here. I'm seeing 1st down markers up again. I don't know if that play was called back. Almost a huge interception there for the Bears, Caleb Garcia.
And to hit Caleb Garcia's helmet, earlier this game he might have been able to have a pick. He was not looking at the ball, unfortunately looking at the receiver. Same thing happened again there. You have to think at some point he's got to start looking for the ball.
And it will be 3rd down. There were some errors down there on the field, but those guys are doing great work down there. I couldn't imagine moving the chains the entire game. I don't know, just not for me, but doing great work down there. As now it's 3rd and 18. A lot of pressure coming in. Lucero's got to throw it. His receiver wasn't even looking. He had no time to get it over there to DuBois. Great job from the secondary of Basha there to be able to get in there, send the linebacker blitz in.
Great pressure there. We see Eli Kramer-Cronin in Lucero Jr.'s face. We also saw the sophomore Caleb Jordan, getting in there, tipping that ball. Another 3 and out for Basha. Helped a little bit by flags, but still great defensive drive.
Eli Kramer-Cronin is one of the best linebackers I've seen in high school. He had a tough year last year, dealing with injuries and having to step up into an already established defense with players like Miles Lockhart. Short punt there. It's going to be a fair catch from Dash Blake. But now he's the leader. He's a junior. He's moved up a year. He's had a year of experience on varsity. And he has such just an inclination to lead. He's so good at it. He's so good at communicating to his defense. And we talked even, but there was so much speculation about Basha having such a young defense this year and already having a ton of injuries in players like Dante Bruley on how well they could truly play without them. Well, I think with Eli's leadership, as you saw in that great play there, they're able to do the job well. So the first quarter continues to drag on here in the final minute, just under 40 seconds for the Bears. The powerful, angry runner, Noah Roberts, gets it up to the 30-yard line.
We see Jaden Stewart there on the tackle. This Husky D-line has been able to stop the run somewhat in these last two drives. Of course, we saw Basha with the quick drive last time, not able to amount to anything. If you're a Basha offensive coordinator or just a fan, you really are hoping that they can do something this drive.
And Basha will run out the first quarter. There we have it. Final score of the first quarter is 7-0. Bears in the lead. And while the score might not show it, Basha has dominated this game. They haven't let the Huskies get anything going on offense, having repeated 3 and outs. And their offense has done a great job of driving down the field and chewing time off the clock. Last drive, they weren't able to put up any points on the board, but I don't think that should discredit their drive at all. They were able to excellently run it and throw it down there, and all they had was a missed field goal. I'd expect the Bears to come out strong in the second quarter.
So if you know him, slap him on the back, tell him happy birthday, and tell him he doesn't look a day over 58.
And down on the sideline, one of our favorite guys, Emmett Morris, he has an interview with some special guests down there on the sideline. We're going to go over to him right now. Emmett, what's it look like down there?
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Brian Garcia Larson with the Fiesta Bowl committee. Brian, what do you exactly do with the Fiesta Bowl?
So with the Fiesta Bowl, I'm a yellow jacket, which means that we do a lot of community service. We put a lot of time into the bowl. We have events like the parade. That's been a staple in our community for over 50 years. We raise money for our community with grants for teachers. We just did $1.25 million with 500 grants last year for teachers. That money went right back into the classroom. Playground builds at different schools within our state, statewide, not just in Maricopa County. But our platform is kids, sports, and veterans. So we want to make sure that we give back to our community in those aspects. And being here at the Friday Night Showdown is really important to us because we want to really be more involved in our high schools and high school football and kind of bring the bowl back in the community with local football.
Brian, that all sounds amazing. Can you just tell me, why are you here at this game, Basha and Hamilton?
So Basha Hamilton is a staple in our community. We were at the Chandler Highland game a couple weeks ago, so we wanted to make sure that we're really, showcasing some of our top teams in the state, and dispersing that time throughout, up north, over on the west side, and then here down in Chandler. So it's just going to be a great game, and we're happy to be here.
Thank you, Brian. Back to you, Jaden.
Thank you for that interview, Emmett, and we want to catch you up on what you guys missed on third down there, a crucial play for the Bears. Veers got sacked all the way back at the 40-yard line. Tate, what went wrong there?
Just a lot of pressure got in from the Huskies there. The offensive line for Basha, unable to block really anybody except for like Casper the Ghost or something. We see a 10-yard sack there. Not great for Basha. We saw a promising drive up to that point. Now it amounts to nothing.
I heard one reporter say it last week. They posted some pictures of the O-line, called them the MVP, right? The unsung heroes. You don't hear much about them. You only really hear about them when they mess up. Basha's O-line is arguably the best offensive line in the state. Every single one of their linemen is over 6 foot. Their left tackle, Jake Hildebrand, he's a sophomore, 6'7", crazy. Their right guard, Sam Garcia, he's 6'4", 380. And their right tackle, Carson Otero, is 6'4", 230. There's other players on that line, but this is one of the best offensive lines in the state in terms of weight, in terms of height, and even their blocking ability. Offensive line coach, Coach Kelly, is one of the best coaches out here. He really, teaches them aggressiveness, but I love his coaching style because he's harsh when he needs to be, but he's also really, he knows what he's talking about. And another not-so-great punt for the Bears as it will bounce out of bounds. Got a little bit of a roll before it went out of bounds.
You said not so great punt there, but I think that was exactly what the Bears want him. You pin him inside the 10-yard line. While we saw the punter there was pressure in his face. Some people were complaining that there wasn't a roughing the punter call. I think it was fine. Great punt. Now it's time for Basha's defense to take the field again.
And I agree with you there, Tay. He did have a lot of pressure. Obviously, though, still not the punt that they were necessarily looking for. I think, if anything, he got a little bit lucky with the way that it bounced and went out of bounds to pin them deep, because the arch on that thing it went straight up and it went straight down. There was not a lot of horizontal X-axis movement from the ball there. Getting a little bit of deja vu now as the Huskies are pinned near their own end zone again. This time, they've got a little bit of fire left as they can get up to just about the line of scrimmage. It's an improvement after last drive.
In this Basha defense, not letting the Huskies get anywhere on the run game so far. I don't know how many rushing yards they have, but not many. Very good there by Basha.
2nd and 10 from the 8. Fakes the handoff out to his left and dropped out of the hands of his number 1 tight end, Logan James. This game, Tate, is what I like to call a proving grounds for the Huskies. They're 5-0, right? You're undefeated. But has the competition you've played actually been at a high caliber level, or have you been knocking off teams that are way below your skill set? I think right now we're starting to see an answer for that, and if the Huskies look to respond, this may be the drive to do it. Lucero Jr., a little bit overthrown there as he was going out past the 30 for a deep pass.
Intended target, Roy Oliver the third right there. Not really a good pass by Lucero Jr. Way over his head. Something's off with him this game. Maybe, like you said, it's a competition. He hasn't played at this high of a level yet. What do you think?
Well, I think we said it with Barth earlier. You know, it could be a multitude of all of these things there, but I'm not sure that that's the right throw to make. He didn't even try and throw it near the field. He was going out of bounds, and that's already going to be a tough catch, especially when it was a little bit overthrown here. Dash Blake, he's got to move out to the sideline. There he goes. One more move, and he goes down at the 20-yard line. Dash Blake has been absolutely phenomenal with these punt returns so far tonight, Tate.
That is the explosion that Basha needs. Their offense not doing much. Defense is playing pretty well. But as of right now, they just needed to get the ball deep into Hamilton territory, and they did that with that return. Basha's offense taking the field yet again for this next drive.
It'll be super short, 20 yards to the goal line. The Huskies defense has done their job well given the field position. Basha's continued to have, and a great tackle for a loss there. Number 58, Derek LeBlanc Jr.
Great tackle. We've talked about Noah Roberts' explosiveness these past couple of weeks. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame today. He usually doesn't get tackled behind the line like that, especially when it's a one-on-one. Derek LeBlanc Jr., very good tackle.
Veers is feeling the pressure once again. He's got to move. Now he goes out to the left side. He whipped it out. Will he go for the touchdown? He cuts back in, and he falls for it. Brody Veers with a 23-yard run.
Great run there. We see flags fly a little bit late, but you know who that looked like? The guy we can't name right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Tate.
Great escapability. Nice job barreling into the end zone. Just great play for Basha.
Is Brody Veers one of the top QBs in Arizona right now? I think if you're saying no to that question, you don't know ball. This kid can throw it. He can make smart football plays on things like a run-pass option. And there we go. He's also able to turn on the afterburners and take it all the way down for a touchdown.
I mean, if the record doesn't speak for himself, then just watch him play and you'll know your answer. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, in Arizona.
No, this is the NFL, Tate. It's pretty close. Barth was kicking the wrong way there. I don't think that really picked up on camera. He's practicing his kick. And now here he comes for the extra point, coming off of a missed field goal earlier in the first quarter. Barth's kick is up, and it is good. We're looking at 14-0 here. Bears lead with 8:59 left in the second quarter. Tate, recap what's been going on so far.
Other than that last drive we saw in the first drive, the Husky defense has been playing really well, holding Basha to only 14 points so far, not many yards. But on the other side of the field, the Huskies have not been able to do anything on offense. This Basha defense just stalling them in their tracks every single drive. The last 2 drives, they ended up punting it from their own red zone. Not great game for them so far. We'll see if they can pick it up on this next offensive drive.
We started to see some steam, right? Some gas in the engine, whatever term you want to call it. They had a play that wasn't for a loss, right? They got it back to the line of scrimmage, and then they went on that deep ball. They just got to make some smarter throws right now and try and work, maybe go for a little bit of a shorter pass. Take any yards you can get right now.
On that touchdown, we saw some late flags fly. Looks like it was something on Basha. They're moving back. Now they'll be backed up on this kick here.
Back-to-back, backed-up kicks for the Bears. Let's take a look at some of the teams that Hamilton's beat this year. The first game they started off, they won 17-10 against Centennial. Centennial went all the way to the Open Division Championship last year. They've struggled, though, to really get back to that level of competition. Then in week 2, they went ahead and beat Desert Ridge 35-21. Then Boulder Creek 44-41, a close one. They blew out Desert Vista 52-18. And then before their bye week last week, they had a shutout game against Valley Vista 58-0. And Tate, I don't know if you're noticing a pattern there, but we're not seeing the top teams in the Open or even 6A right now. Those games are coming up on the second half of their schedule. Kickoff is pretty short, but you can't blame Barth after being backed up. It's fielded at the 20, and they'll run it out to just past the 45-yard line.
Obviously, bad situation there for the Bears. Backed up, kicking it from their own 18-yard line. Great kick from Mikey Barth, able to kick it probably back to the other 20. Now, here's the thing for Hamilton. They have to convert to some points, even if it's just 3 in this drive. They've got the good field position. Now they need the momentum. They just need to score at least 3 points.
Agreed. Fully agreed. And coming up after Basha, the Hamilton Huskies will take on the Perry Pumas, who are one of the top teams in 6A, just like the Bears, and then Castile, Red Mountain, and Chandler. So there's some tough competition. Great run there as he's able to find the hole and take it past the 45. He's down at about the 44-yard line.
That will be Skylar Cole on the run there. He's a sophomore running back. He actually transferred in from Basha this year. This is the first game he will be able to play this season.
No motion there really on that play, and I find that kind of interesting. You have a running back like Cole transfer from Basha over to Hamilton, and then we have Hamilton's running back, Josh Gaines, transfer over to us. It's a little ironic. You're just trading running backs off, But I think that we were talking pregame before we went live, and you said that you think, it's a good move. They both fit the other teams more in the amount of playing time in position, necessity for each team. So sometimes it's not as black and white as it might look on paper, right? There's a lot of nuance to it. Both of them hopefully will succeed in their offenses. Strong run there. He's able to keep the play alive for quite a while. Makes it just past the line of scrimmage in a very late flag.
We've seen a couple of those this game. We saw one on the touchdown just earlier. Flags have been killer for Basha all year long. Hopefully this one doesn't go against them. Really not what you want to see if you're either team here. Seems like it will be on Basha, and the ball will be moved 15 more yards up the field. And this might be the momentum that Hamilton needs to stay in this game. They have the ball inside the Basha 30. Before this drive, they hadn't even had it on Basha's half yet.
Here we go from the 27, another flag. We've seen quite a few so far in this game. Another one against Basha. And the Huskies riding high off of all of this free yardage they're getting right now. First and 5 now from the 22. Lucero Jr. is looking deep into the back of the end zone. Does he have his guy? No, he doesn't. It was close, but he threw it just out of bounds. And that's another tough throw there where you really need Lucero Jr. to connect with his receiver.
Lucero Jr. just off the mark this game. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame. He's got over 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns on this season. We haven't really been seeing him miss those throws in previous games. Maybe it's the bigger stage, maybe it's the better teams, who knows. Not having his best game so far.
After the incomplete pass, they'll hand it off, and he's going to power down all the way inside the 10. Great way to respond there from the Huskies as Jacob Brown is able to pick up the first. First and goal, runs into a wall of Basha defenders.
Hamilton on this drive, we've been seeing a lot more of the run game. They haven't really been able to connect in the pass game. Lucero Jr. off the mark on multiple of his throws. We've seen Jacob Brown, Skylar Cole get in there this drive and rush for multiple yards.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Tate. If the passing game isn't working and the running game seems to pick up consistent yards, the smart football thing is to keep running the ball. There they go again, now inside the 5.
We see Blue Dantzler there missing the tackle. Maybe he's shaking off a little bit of rust from his injury, but usually he does not miss those tackles.
It'll be 3rd and goal here, a short 3rd and goal at that, just at around the 5-yard line. We'll see if the Huskies put their faith in their running game here to get them the touchdown they so desperately need, or if they give it back to Lucero Jr. and hope that he can finally make a connection with one of his star receivers.
I feel like they'll stay with the run game. It's been working all drive. Why go away from it?
He's going to pass it. Back of the end zone catch just over the hands.
Reese Rinaldi Jr. there. We talked about him earlier, transferred in from Saguaro, trying to find him. I feel like they should have run the ball there.
Yeah, that's a catch. That's a 3rd down where you need to play to your strengths, what's working. I like seeing that target to Rinaldi. I think that he could have actually caught that. But with that back of the end zone, we've seen Lucero Jr. struggle to throw catchable balls to his receivers. And you mentioned putting any points on the board here. Hamilton's going to go for the 3. They get it, and it's good. All right, 14-3, 5:24 remaining in the second. And I think that is a disappointing drive. Points are points, but Hamilton had so much momentum. They were driving. They were just rushing the ball so well. I agree with you, Tate. I don't think passing it there was the right call.
I wouldn't classify that drive as disappointing. You got points on the board. Before that drive, you had 0, now you have 3. You're kind of back in the game. They were never really out of it, but now you've got some momentum to build on.
Sure, but you definitely do want to score on something like that, right? Where you're finally getting that offensive momentum to be stopped just shy of putting 6, potentially 7 on the board. It's always got to sting just a little. The Bears will receive the ball after the half as well. Something else to keep in mind as we start moving towards halftime. Hey, and speaking of halftime, this week's episode of Basha's Best is on Tony Tahi, one of Basha's best defensive linemen. He started on varsity last year as a freshman. This kid is a beast, Tate. I know that you know him, but if any of you out there want to learn a little bit more about some of Basha's best players, stay tuned for halftime. We'll have that story on him. It's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. Kick is off, and it's caught. Fell backwards before he's able to catch himself.
Of course, that's a touchback there, but great catch by Gio Richardson. Over the head on a kickoff, that's hard to do.
He's getting in some practice, right? He's expecting Veers to throw to him later. I say, hey, take the opportunity there, get some real game opportunity. It's probably, honestly, probably a little bit harder to catch a kick like that than it is to catch a decently thrown ball, so.
100%.
This will be one of the Bears' longer drives if they hope to take it down for a touchdown. With the touchback, they will be at their own 20-yard line. Just under 5:30 remaining in the second quarter. Not a lot of movement there to bring up second down.
These last three drives, the Basha run game really has been working other than that one scramble by Brody. I feel like they got to start trying to go to the air. Brody can maybe use his legs a little bit. They could find that star receiver in Gio Richardson. We also got Dash Blake, Cash Brock, who've had pretty good years for themselves.
There's so many quarterbacks that would do anything for a receiver room like the one that has. I really do think they should look to start to utilize it more in this game as the Huskies get more, acclimated to that run game. And there we saw a slant. Didn't go anywhere. Cash Brock on the reception.
Cash Brock here pretty well. He only has 265 yards, but he's got 4 touchdown teams. That's the top 4 in the state and the 110 hurdles.
That is when you think about this Arizona football scene that's grown so recent years. The level of competition you're starting to see here is higher than 9. Veers will take to the air. He chucks it deep. Intercepted, and then he dropped it. That is the Huskies. Number one, Nico. Jandrew, excuse me.
Great play there by Hamilton, getting the pressure in. Gio Richardson played great defense on that play. You don't hear often a receiver playing great defense. Nico Jandrew had the ball in his hands, and Gio knocked the ball out. It's a punt instead of an easy pick.
And let me tell you a little thing about Nico. He is a Bo. They both play for the Huskies. Bo is injured right now, but Nico out on their defense. I've known him for quite a while. I used to actually play back in my day. No, long time ago, right? That was out of where he's finally pushed out. Great way to capitalize on that there on the returns. And once again, now they're on Basha's side of the field for this drive. Back to Nico. This kid's a stud. He started on Hamilton's defense. At a time where Hamilton was stacked, and he's been able to start and get reps out there. Now as a junior, continuing to play as a starter. Keep an eye on him throughout the game. We're going to see a lot more of him. And even if we don't see he's in the state. Tate, they've got Trey Field. See if they can do something with it this time. Put 7 on the loose. Sarah's going to look to pass downfield out of the hand of his. He gets a hit afterwards too. Call us a hospital ball. You're going to throw it to him, expecting your guy to catch it, but then you have a safety. Those plays can be a little risky.
It was a little risky, and it was actually a great throw by Lucero Jr. Was not able to hook up with Logan James. He was going to bring it in. It was right in his hands, but he didn't.
Quick pass out, a lot of contact there. The pass break up from Zay Rogers. That was
Rogers that played like a book.
That's 3rd and 10. Surely Junior go back to the air here. Most likely look to connect with somebody like Rinaldi James. Here he goes. He's got pressure and throws into the hands of James again, who couldn't hold on bring up. Just been playing out of their minds tonight, Tate.
Other than last drive, they really haven't allowed the Huskies to move the ball at all. We've been saying the name of a lot of tonight is Lincoln Hansen. Excuse me. He's had a couple of PBUs, couple of tackles. Great game so far by him. We also saw the Basha to get in and pressure Lucero Jr. on that play.
Punt is out of bounds down near our sideline set there. The Bears will get the ball back again pretty quickly after that turnover. That was almost an interception. First and 10 with 3:20 remaining. Fakes the handoff. Fears has tons of pressure on it. And he will be sacked. That's the second sack for the night.
Basha offense, much from them the last two drives. That got in, made the sack.
Well, the Huskies are down 11. They're far from out in this game, as we can see right now. It's up becoming a defensive battle between both of these teams. Veers out to Brock. Brock looks at what he does. He's able to convert for more. Look at the yards after Con. Finally blow it dead at the 41. What a way to keep the play alive.
Great job, nice job by Cash Brock. Another thing I'd like to point out, Basha's offense. That's now I think the 6th or 7th time they run up to the line with an empty, which means no running back in the backfield. Really relying on those quick throws right now, getting the ball out of Veer's hand.
Clock is ticking here. 2:15 as they hand it off down. He spins twice. We'll see where they eventually mark it. Once again, coming up at halftime, we have our next Basha's Best. This episode is on Tony Tahi. Stay tuned. We're also going to meet with Emmett Morris down on the sideline to catch up with players who's dealt with some injuries the past year or so. Now it's 3rd and just under 2 minutes.
Huge third down here for Basha. They get this, they have a chance to score more points, keep them momentum in.
20 in an empty backfield formation. Veers has no time and fumble on the ground, and it's recovered by the Huskies. Looked to be a sack, turned out to be so much worse. Huskies now have a minute 17 to go 45 yards. They still have their timeouts.
Now that basically means you're remaining on the field. So every corner, every safety, they see each running back that's on the field. Or the linebackers in the D line, their quarterback. We saw there, empty backfield again. 6 feet was 5 for the Bears. The Bears were not able to block them there, which turns into that turnover.
Out of the 2-minute pass downfield in the hand. Finally, he's brought down at the 25-yard line. James finally get a catch there.
There great play of the Skis. Rich Lucero Jr. finally connecting one to get past the field when it matters.
Now first and 10, I'm going to do a screen pass out to the Hamilton sideline. Get maybe one on the play, and the clock is still running. So we keep going, and there comes the timeout. And I think that was kind of a late timeout. Just 10 seconds to run off the clock before deciding that. Yes, they're not going to have NFL caliber coaches who have to practice on prime time football where they're so used to that. But still, you have to have that awareness as the clock is ticking. At that point, timeout. Get that 10 seconds up. You're down right now. Okay, your focus should be getting points on the board at any. Second and 8. Pass out near the spot, and he's able to push down near the first down. I think they're just shy.
Sabre run there. That'll bring up a third down for the serve the clock, so they can at least come away with 3 on this drive.
Started that play with 44 seconds. Now there's 34 seconds. That play was 10 whole seconds there. When you let 10 seconds hesitate to call that timeout, you're essentially giving up the play. It's 3rd and 1 here, assuming that they can convert at least for if you're taking an average of 10 seconds of play, you've got at least 4 points. In this situation, I don't see any reason
here is not conserve too much, because if they score too quickly, they might the Basha offense can get the ball and drive down the field quickly.
I agree on points on the board here. Like I just said, no matter what the cost, you're down. It's not like you're up by 2 touchdowns trying to run the clock. Couch for the hatch. Here comes the handoff. Oh, down inside the 5. The strong run there.
I want to call it.
Now they're going to let the clock run. 25 seconds before another timeout is called.
Timeout. Now clock the ball. Lucero Jr. with the spike.
Good move to spike it. 4. Inside the red zone. Quick pass into. And it is incomplete.
Lucero catch. Xavier Rivera Rogers with his back turn. Unfortunately, the feet were not able to stay in bounds. That will be a pass complete. Good thing. Only 4 seconds run off the clock.
Oliver the third was the target who almost brought bounds. At any chance you get, you're gonna have to try it right now, right? Basha's not driving downfield. It's just this isn't the NFL, right? So I think you give it to your running game. We talked about it last time. We're gonna pass down near the end zone, incomplete. And that could have put on the board as he went back to Oliver the third. Now you've got work, and they're going to go for another field goal. You had a great run, where he's able to get inside the 5. Keep going to the run. You throw it 3 times outside of the end zone. Your passing game working right now. They do get the field goal. That'll make the score 6. Bears will get the kickoff here, and then again time. We're going to get back-to-back chances. So we'll see the Bears doing anything here. They'll most likely just had converted on both of those drives. So we're looking at a tie game right now.
That is one way to look at it. Another way, Basha has been holding them in the red zone.
True.
We've seen drives now where Hamilton has gone all the way down the field, but Basha just stopped them. It's that bend, don't break touchdown. Of course, they don't want the 3 points either, but it's good for the Bears to not be tied right now.
Which is why it confuses me so much. Why the Huskies cannot. That's 38. Nice little way to get some yards. That kickoff there.
Cash Brock with the return there. Pretty good return for him to catch those. It either goes to Dash Blake or Richardson in the back. Great return. It's all the way up 40. We'll see if Basha tries to do something in this drive. I think they're probably going to nail it.
Yeah, agree that kneeling formation here. As we go to halftime now, score is 14-6. Bears lead once again. Off after the half, but folks, don't turn off your channel because halftime we're going to have our episode of Basha's Best on Tony Todd, best defensive lineman. We're also going to have an interview down the sideline. Who's going to be interviewing Carson Torres about the team and what it means to some of the.
I'm here with the senior offensive line quarterback from the Basha Bears. Kaysen, how are you doing tonight? Are you doing well? I've seen a lot of pink here tonight. Can you just tell me what's going on tonight? We're talking over his breast cancer. We're in
So I got my breast cancer about 10 years ago, and it's kind of been a rough and do things that have to do with breast cancer. So like, Basha graduated in 2016. His breast cancer. So it's kind of been a family tradition that's been going on. I'm so happy that
okay, so I think it's a thing that you review this, and I wish you the best.
Tonight, our video here at Basha High School. under the direction. Sylvie. Into a bang. Ready. Take the field.
We welcome you back to the second half of this Friday Night Lights matchup. It's Basha's final home regular season game. Tate, we talked at the beginning, it's a bit of a sad one, having this be one of our final games potentially of the season if we cannot secure a playoff spot, which we hope we can for something. But let's break down this game a little bit. I do just have to apologize, though. We had some technical difficulties there in the second quarter with some audio. We think we have it fixed now. Thank you for bearing with us, like always, for our technical difficulties here on the Basha Bear Network. We're a fully student-ran network, so we're going to have a few things that we got to work out here and then. But let's get back to that, Tate. Let's break down what's been going on in this game so far.
Basha's offense really has only had 2 great drives. Other than that, they've been stagnant, something we're not used to seeing. Usually they're a high-powered flying offense that scores 30 to 40 points a week. On the other hand, Basha's defense has been playing really well, holding Hamilton to only 6 points. I'm excited to see how this second half goes.
And the Bears will start with the ball here. It's a lower kick, but they will still get the touchback. Bears will start at their own 20-yard line.
Now, if Basha wants to regain all the momentum in this game that they kind of lost after allowing 6 straight points to Hamilton, they need to do something on this drive. They got to drive all the way down the field, maybe take a little bit of time off the clock, and score a touchdown.
And they've got to incorporate some of their studs like Gio Richardson. We haven't seen too much of him in Veers tonight, and that's kind of been a trend for the past few games. Ever since Mission Viejo, his bond with Veers, we've seen a lot less targets. Not that he's not still getting touchdowns and yards, but we have seen a decrease. And I think that if Basha wants to make this less than a 1-score game right now, they need to go back to the passing. Mason Comer in motion to the right side of the line right now. A little handoff to Dash Blake. Dash Blake whips it out to the right, and there is a flag as he's brought down just past the line of scrimmage.
That's something Coach Mack wanted to limit before the game. The flags, he's been saying really since the beginning of the season that Basha has to be way more disciplined. There's been too many flags called on them. Ten-yard penalty seems to be a 1st and 20 for the Bears.
This is the farthest back they've been all day. Feeling the pressure, he's able to get a little bit of a drop-off pass there to Roberts. To bring up 2nd and long.
Something we've seen all day, first half and this little bit of the second half. There's not much time for Brody Veers to throw the ball. They need to get the ball out of his hands quickly, whether it's quick little out routes or maybe even some screens, just so that he can have more time.
And give credit to Hamilton's defensive line with players like number 8, Ben Jones, getting in there a lot. That pass rush they have going right now seems to be working. Veers out to his right, makes the connection to Richardson. Richardson down the middle at the 50. He's still on his feet. He's still going down the sideline at the 30, the 20, the 10. Does he get pushed out of bounds? No, he does not. Gio Richardson on the 83-yard touchdown. What a way to respond, and that's exactly what we said Veers needed to start doing there, Tate.
What an amazing play there by Gio Richardson in the Basha offense. Veers able to find him in the middle of the field. He breaks a tackle. Don't know if it's a break, more of a juke. And then he outruns Zach Stowe and Nico Jandaru, 2 safeties that are very pivotal to this Hamilton defense. What a play.
And he had great field vision. He was able to start out on the right side, cut back towards the middle, and as he saw a lot of the pressure move behind him, he cut over to that right sideline, over near Hamilton. Smart receiver there, as now we're looking at 21-6, Bears lead. And that's the Basha offense incorporating Gio that we are so accustomed to seeing here.
That is exactly what the Bears needed to keep this game out of the Huskies' reach. They started out with the 14-0 lead. Dropped to 14-6. Now it's 21-6. If they can stop them here and get another touchdown, this game might be over.
Bears have had some struggles on their kickoffs. They've had 2 back-to-back penalties that have pushed them back farther. This time there's no initial flag as they're able to soar it out of the end zone. Fumbles near the back, and that will be a touchback. Hamilton Huskies offense seeing the field for the first time in the second half after the Bears had a very short drive in terms of time. So they went all the way downfield 80 yards. After a tackle for a loss, they went even farther, 83 on that touchdown to Gio Richardson there. And we'll see if the Huskies can respond in a similar way. We've seen quite a few 3-and-outs from them here, and I think if you do want to stay competitive, you want to keep that spirit up, then not having a 3-and-out here is the way to go about it. Handoff down the gutter, and he's met with a lot of contact. He's able to fall for a few yards on the run.
Jacob Brown, really great game for him so far. We saw Michael Smith III go down in one of their earlier drives. He's been able to step up into that running back role and get a decent amount of yards this game so far.
Five on the carry. He remains in the backfield as there's motion from Oliver III. They go back to Brown. Brown finds a hole and he gets the first down and then some.
First down for the Huskies there. Something we talked about a lot in the first half was Hamilton, their passing game hasn't really been on it this game, but the run game sure has been.
Very interesting play there. I think something collapsed. Lucero was going to try and scramble out to his left. He threw a check down pass, but he was like 3 yards away from him. Very weird play there, Tate.
Bad decision by Lucero. He pulled the ball. He's got the option to either throw that or run that. He's going to get way more yards, maybe 3, 4, if he just tucks that ball and runs it.
Now it's 2nd and 10. He hits that check down. This time it's caught, and he's got a block on his feet. Down about 1 or 2 yards short of the first down. Jacob Brown showing his duality there, also picking up some receiving yards.
And this is a huge play for the Huskies. 3rd and 1. They got to keep this drive alive if they want to stay in this game and not let it slip away.
Call me crazy, but I think this is 4-down territory as well. This short. Brown gets it, falls past the 50, and he is on fire so far this half. You really got to keep giving it to him here. I can't stress that enough. The Basha defense cannot stop Brown right now.
You've said it earlier this game. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep on handing him the ball. It's working. Let's see if they keep on doing it. On that play, muffled ball while Lucero Jr. was trying to hand the ball to Brown. Loss of 3.
That'll push them onto their own 47-yard line, just under 8:30 remaining in the third quarter. The Huskies looking to make a response here, finally putting a touchdown on the board potentially. Lucero Jr. drops back to pass. He's feeling the pressure. He threw a fast ball over to the sideline back to Brown, and Brown was hit. Great defense there.
Seemed sort of like an early hit there by the sophomore Mark Dorson, but still a great play. Hit him basically as the ball was coming in. Did not allow the catch. Brings up a 3rd and long. I wonder what the Huskies are going to do on this play.
Third and long, back to the air, tons of pressure, nowhere to run, and he's sacked in the backfield. Eli Kramer Cronin is unstoppable.
He's led this team in tackles so far this year with 71. That's huge for him, getting his 2nd sack of the season and on a big play of the game. 3rd down and long. Now Basha gets the ball back, and they have a chance to put this game out of reach.
Gotta love seeing Eli play. He's such an electrifying player to watch. He makes it interesting on the defense, and then he has so much enthusiasm after he gets a tackle. I get energy from him. He's so exhilarating to watch as now we get another punt return from Dash Blake, who gets some decent yardage as well. On first down, they'll get a short throw to Roberts, who was tackled for a loss. He was just swallowed up by the Hamilton defensive line there. Ben Jones was one of the people applying the pressure. See Jaden Stewart, number 52, as well.
Xavier Brazil in on that tackle. Very great play by him. He read it perfectly, went in for the tackle. Great solo tackle, got him in the backfield. Now Basha's facing second and long. Last drive we saw Hamilton stall out after a second and long. Let's see if Basha repeats that performance.
We'll see if Jones or LeBlanc Jr. can get into Veers here again. They fall, but they've got the pressure. Veers is able to get the pass off. Downfield he goes, and it's going to be just past the first down. We'll see if they mark him short. Coach McDonald thinks they have it. And yes, they do. Great way to convert there and able to fall for the first down.
Smart play there. You saw that Brody's getting pressured. A lot of guys in his face. Throws the quick screen pass, gets the first down. Something that Noah Robert is really good at doing.
Blake in motion, out to his right. Could be a check down pass for Veers here. No, it is not. He's looking deep. Throws it up. No pass interference called yet. And that ball will be incomplete. What could have been a great play for the Bears there. I think Hamilton just had some great coverage. Intended target was Gio Richardson.
Brody Veers a little bit off on that throw there. He throws it just a scoosh farther, and that's a touchdown.
A scoosh?
I didn't want to say just a little bit because I just said it.
I like that, though. A scoosh. I'll use that from now on. Second and 10. Starting to see Veers heat up. And a pass to a wide open. It's incomplete. Not really sure what went wrong with Veers' pass there. He just overthrew it, kind of let go when he didn't really mean to, but for a receiver to be that wide open and that close to him, you'd think he'd probably want to put a little less power on the throw there. Now it's 3rd and 10. They're going all in on Veers this set of downs. There he goes down the middle. This time it's caught. He's got the first down. Great job there fighting through the tackle as well.
Great play call by Basha there. Finding the short route, getting it out of Veers' hands, finding his receiver in the open field, using those run after catch abilities to get the first down.
Jamal Phillips was the receiver with the catch there. Handoff, Roberts tries to cut it to the outside hole. Able to make a few positive yards off the play there. Good read.
Great run defense there by the Huskies. Able to get in the backfield, make Noah hesitate a little bit on where to go, and then stop him for only a 2-yard gain. Excuse me, 1-yard gain.
This game's really kind of the tipping point for the Bears, right? They have had a hard start to the beginning of the season, teams like Mission Viejo. Veers keeps it here, and he gets out of bounds without taking any contact. Smart run there to get them down to the 20. We've also seen Basha play one of the other top teams in the Open Brophy, but they have a difficult end of the season as well, right? They have Perry, they still have Castile, they have Chandler, and then obviously they'll have the Open Division playoffs after that. Next week is their bye, so they get a little bit of a rest. But I do like to see the incorporation of some of the other guys before we get into a long stretch of difficult away games. Good run there on 3rd and 1 to get the first down.
Gains on that run. We haven't really seen him much tonight. He had a lot more carries in the Brophy game. We'll see if he keeps on getting the ball more and more.
Jake Hildebrand, the offensive lineman, on the ground there. He looked over to Coach McDonald, signaled that he's all good. Speaking of gains, there he is in the backfield once again. Handoff to Gaines, the angry runner, down at the 9-yard line. He's a beast. People were describing him before the season while he had to sit his games as like an angry runner. And obviously I'm going to take people at their word, right? You know, I like to trust people. But, you know, I didn't really fully get it yet. This kid has a really, like, natural way of running, though, but it's so aggressive. He's not really a dancer. He's a powerful force to be reckoned with out there. Fake over to Gaines. Now Veers makes a connection at the 5-yard line.
Dash Blake there completing the first down catch. Great play. Now they're in the red zone. I'd assume they give it to either Gaines or Roberts. Seems like Gaines is coming off the field. Basha has a really good chance to tip this game in their favor.
And Dash Blake, a quiet worker of the Basha offense. You don't see him getting crazy plays. And Roberts somersaults in for the touchdown. That's exactly what Basha wanted there. But Dash Blake's one of the quiet workers of this Basha offense. Like I said, he's not getting the 90-yard passes like Gio or everything, but he is consistently getting yards every week. He recovers most of the punts. He's in there on kickoffs too. Silent worker, but I love to see what he does because he does put up consistent stats on the board. He does exactly what the team needs him to do. And here comes Carson Otero sprinting onto the field for the extra point. 27-6. Bears up by 21. And now 22. They need to be up by 35 for the running clock to start. So they are still a few scores away from that, but it's not out of the question here for Basha as their final home game of the season on this pink out night continues to go exactly how they want. Kick is off, and it's a powerful one. Touchback. Huskies will start at the 20. The game continues to slip out of the hands of the Huskies here as both of their red zone attempts have resulted in field goals. A touchdown here is really going to be needed for the Huskies if you want them to mentally stay in this game. Even if it's a close game, right? Even if it's 2-3 scores, which it doesn't sound close, but it can be. It's all about the mentality out there. Lucero throws it behind the line of scrimmage. Brown was the intended check down receiver. All right. Coach McDonald holding true to his word. His key to the game was putting pressure, and that's what we've seen all throughout this game. Lucero Jr. has no time really to throw the ball, and he's felt that.
Not only that, but when he does have time, the defense and the cornerbacks, the safeties, even the linebackers, they're covering so well, he can't throw the ball to anyone.
Now 2nd and 20, they're going to go back to the old reliable run game. This time it was the Skylar Cole, the Basha transfer. Gain of 1 on the play. We're looking at 3rd and 9 here from the 27-yard line. Lucero Jr. looks to pass. He's got pressure. Now he's going to scramble out to his right. He's got the room for the first down. There he goes, running for it. Makes contact and spins out at the 45-yard line. Hey, great spin there, Tate. He got an extra 5 yards off of that.
Great play there by the Huskies. I can't really say great play because the play got blown up by the Basha secondary, but great scramble there by Lucero is what I should say. He got 30 yards down the field, picks up the first down and way more, trying to get this drive rolling a little bit.
They definitely needed that 3rd down conversion. Now back to the ground they go. Great pickup there from the Hamilton run game. Skylar Cole will remain in as running back for now, as we're not seeing number 22, Jacob Brown, out on the field. Second and 1. Fake handoff to Cole. Lucero Jr. throws a tough ball. Did he catch that? Yes, he did. What a very excellent job there getting it over to Reese Rinaldi, the Saguaro transfer.
Great play there by the Huskies. Nice catch by Reese Rinaldi in double coverage. Overall, nice play.
And that was such a tight throw to make. You have such a short window to get that in there without it being batted down or intercepted. I think that's Lucero's best ball of the night by far. And if the Huskies do want to get back into it, he's got to keep making excellent plays like that.
Not only that, but this run game, it's been working this drive. They got to keep staying true to that and then pass it when it's needed.
2nd and 7 as they're making their way downfield, and some whistles before the play, which is a timeout.
That timeout will be charged by Basha. They now have 2 left remaining in the second half.
And on a 2nd and 7, you don't know if maybe the defensive coordinator saw a mismatch there that could have resulted in a touchdown. Definitely not the most common place to take a timeout.
We saw a couple games ago in the Mesa, all the way back in the Mesa game, Mesa used all 3 of their timeouts in the first quarter. That was really weird clock management. I remember being confused on that one.
Me too, Tate. Me too. I didn't really get that much either. But I have a lot more faith in the Basha strategy here. Great pass there to get the first down, wide open. Good job from Lucero Jr. to get it over there in time before anybody was able to get up to Logan James, who continues to be one of the best receivers tonight on the Huskies.
Hurrying up to the line now. Huskies trying to catch Basha off guard.
He's looking out to his left again. Wasn't open. End zone pass. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Roy Oliver III leaping into the air, falling on his back, the freshman. His 6th touchdown of the season. Great drive there from Hamilton.
Great drive, but like we were talking about earlier, capped off with a touchdown this time. If they were stopped for a field goal, they just can't have that. Amazing play on the touchdown there. Roy Oliver III, like you said, the freshman. He's a freshman playing with seniors out there on the field. Amazing catch.
And I liked the way Lucero Jr. was able to persevere, as the extra point is good. He was looking to make another pass down the tight end, Logan James. He saw it wasn't open, and then instead of overcommitting or just making one look and then trying to throw it out of bounds, he let the play roll a little bit. He let some of the longer routes develop, and then he's able to connect to Oliver in the end zone. That is something you definitely needed to see, and I think that's going to give Lucero Jr. a lot of confidence moving forward into the 4th quarter. I think that really will be one of the defining plays of this game once we're able to look back on the outcome. Tate, do you want to mention that he's second in passing yards in 6A?
He's had a really great season for himself. We said earlier 1,300 pass yards, but 14 touchdowns is really what you want to look at. He knows how to get the ball into the end zone. He knows how to do it efficiently.
Basha's got a little under a minute, 54 seconds officially here in the third quarter. They're going to just look to really run out the clock now. Now is when we're going to see some more runs to people like Noah Roberts, Josh Gaines, maybe even Isaiah McIver, who before Gaines was eligible was also seeing a decent amount of carries alongside Roberts. They're going to just look to chew time off the clock here. They're feeling great. You know, they have confidence in their defense. There's that dash Blake motion we've seen all game. Quick pass over to Brock. Able to turn it upfield for a couple more yards there. I like that little hook route that he's running, right? Just running a few yards out, then turning back. It's consistent yards.
This second half, they've really been focusing on getting the ball out of Veer's hands. They know that the pressure has been coming from the Huskies. The Bears' O-line really hasn't been able to stop them at all this game. So it's very nice to see that they're getting the ball out quickly and gaining those yards.
And Basha will have to run another play before time expires here in the third. Veers is going to scramble. He's got a block out to his right. Kind of hesitates and then slides down. It's a hit there as he was sliding, but it was a very sudden slide, so you can't really fault the defender there. He's going to go in for the tackle. And
yeah, I think that was a good call by the ref there, not throwing the flag. There's already been a lot of flags this game. I think you let that one go.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't clear that Veers was giving himself up, right? It wouldn't be like targeting or something like that, a late hit. Like I said, he just slid so suddenly. There's no time to decommit from going into that hit. But that is the final score for the third quarter. 28-13 as we finally see Hamilton get a touchdown on the board, and they're looking to make a comeback here in the fourth quarter while the Basha Bears continue to drive down the field. It's going to be a great fourth quarter. Here's Emmett Morris with our injury update.
Jaden, Tate, an unfortunate update as sophomore lineman or defensive lineman and Basha's best from this week, Anatoly Taihi, came off the field hobbling middle of the third quarter. He is out for the rest of the game with an ankle injury, but should be good to go next week or in 2 weeks. Back to you.
Thank you for that update, Emmett. We're glad to finally hear you this time in full quality. And Tate, I love his suit, man. It's that cotton candy pink suit. He told me about it earlier. I'm like, Tate, we're going all out for our last game. And he's like, okay, well, wear suits. And Veers escapes the sack, is able to convert now, gets it past the line of scrimmage and upfield on 2nd and 5. Great way to keep the play alive there.
Great play there. You don't see that much from quarterbacks. Stiff-arming a defensive lineman? Like, what? And gaining doesn't seem to be a first down, but 4 yards. Bring up a 3rd and 1.
Little Lamar Jackson-esque there, his ability to scramble. But I was like, we're going to wear suits. He's like, okay, I've got like a silver suit. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, but I've also got this bright pink suit. And I'm like, oh, you got to go with the bright pink suit. I mean, come on. I think he looks great. I think it's unique. He stands out. That's what it's all about. Showing support tonight. Excellent run down the field. On the sideline, he gets tripped up and goes out of bounds, but way to get downfield so quickly. Noah Roberts, the D1, recruit. He just keeps racking up offers and offers, and it's not hard to understand why when you see a play like that.
That's one of those explosive runs that Basha has been missing all game long. It's really just been those 3-4 yard runs all game. That one, amazing to have in this situation. You're only up by 2 scores, want to widen the lead. Nice long run. Surprised he didn't take it to the house, actually.
You know, he got tripped up, but if he didn't get tripped up there, he was gone. Veers now makes the connection to Richardson. Richardson cuts it up the left side. He has a block, and he will run out of bounds eventually. Great play there on the slant route, able to cut it upfield.
You and I talked about it a little bit at halftime. We talked about how Brody Veers just needs to get the ball in the hands of Gio Richardson, whether it's that little slant route or, like we saw earlier, a deeper shot. He just needs to get him the ball because he can make big plays.
Just under 11 minutes now in the fourth quarter as the Bears are in the 12-yard line. Right back in the red zone, exactly where they want to be here, in control of this game. Gaines gets the handoff. Down the gutter he goes, gets a few on the play.
The Bears are marching down the field within the 5-yard line, or excuse me, within the 10-yard line now, looking to score yet again.
They're on the 8. So they go back to Gaines. He goes up the left side. Gaines, does he get in? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Josh Gaines, the Hamilton transfer, who's shown how much of a dominant runner he is. He's able to get some points up on the board there. And in this rivalry game against his previous school, that's got to feel good, Tate.
It really does. I mean, he's such a great runner. We haven't really seen him in much. Noah Roberts has been taking most of the carries this game, but last game we saw him rush for over 100 yards and a touchdown. We were talking to Coach Mack this week too, and he said they think that they have one of the best two running back duo, like the best running back duo in Arizona. We're seeing that there this game.
You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone better than those two. I love their dynamic. I wish we could have had Gaines on the sideline pretty much the whole season, right? Obviously, he had to sit 5, but this sort of like dynamic ability to not only have one stud running back, to have 2 stud running backs, a great receiver room where they're able to make deep passes all the time. This is the most versatile the Basha offense has been, even past the player we won't mention's era. I truly think that overall this is the most well-rounded Basha team that they've probably seen in the last 10 years.
Not even just the offense, though. Last year we saw the defense struggle a lot against tougher competition. This year we got a new young defense come in, mostly juniors and sophomores, and they've been playing really well.
Yeah, that's something that we talk about with the defense. People like Eli Kramer-Cronin having to step up this year, lead some of the younger guys now. There was a lot of seniority on the defense in the past 2 years. We had people like Miles Lockhart, people like Cole Martin. You just had so much seniority, but now it's these younger guys cultivating that culture of success. They all can relate to each other as juniors and sophomores. It's great to see them play, especially because you know they still have another year or two to grow. (35-13) here in the fourth quarter. The Bears have been playing excellent all game. It was a slow start in terms of scores, but throughout every single quarter, their ability to drive down near the red zone or into the red zone has been unstoppable. Now Hamilton goes back to the running game. Their bread and butter so far. That was Brown back in place of Cole.
We see Eli Kramer-Cronin there with yet another tackle, coming up big on that first down play.
Another junior I really want to talk about is Tai Tuatele, number 45. One of those unsung heroes we keep mentioning. You don't hear his name because he's not getting burnt that often. He's making the plays he needs to. And there's Caden Williams in on the tackle, able to lock up James before he's able to break off for any yards.
Tai Tuatele, though, we got to go back to talking about him. He started off the year playing linebacker. He transitioned to defensive tackle. We talked to Coach Mack about him. He's a great player. He kind of got beat up by Mark Dorson in that linebacker spot, but Coach Mack wanted to keep him on the field and keep him playing.
3rd and 4. Gets the check down, then he gets a few more. Oliver the third is able to get the first down, and that was another very big 3rd down for the Huskies, but there is an injury on the field.
Roy Oliver III, the star freshman receiver for the Huskies, is down.
And that is not what you want to see either. We hope that everything is okay. See both athletic training staffs out there. We love those guys so much, just like our booster. They do so much. You know, people may say, oh, they're just water boys or water girls. No. These kids go out there, they learn from the older adults there on how to actually care for athletes and treat injuries. Then they're there actually with the water. They give it to us when we're on the sidelines, and it's great. It's like free water. I'm so excited. But I love our athletic training staff, and it's good to see Oliver III walking off the field there. Hopefully he can return to this game. He's been really a great key to success for the Huskies offense when they're able to get it to him. Rinaldi in motion, and now there's a penalty in the backfield. Most likely going to go against Hamilton here.
And it will, moving Hamilton even further back. Not what you want to see when you're down 3 scores.
Now it's 1st and 15. Give you a little update across Arizona right now. Liberty, they're playing Pinnacle. They're losing 26-21 right now. There's 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. We'll continue to update you on that throughout the rest of this game and throughout our post-game show. Brown with the reception in a big hit there, but he's able to get pretty close to the first down marker. Shot from Trey Knox. He was one of the ones in there on that tackle. Speaking of inside the den, with this being our final home game, if you've tuned in, you've known that we've had technical difficulties with Inside the Den. This is the week, guys. If everybody stays to watch it, this is the week. I can guarantee you that. And we have some good things planned. We have some new graphics. It's going to be exciting. And with this being our final one, we hope that you guys stay to watch. Now Lucero down the middle gets the grab. Tyshawn Ford is able to get him at the 49-yard line.
Nice tackle there by Caden Williams, able to bring him down, not allowing him to turn that up for an even larger gain.
The next score update we have, ALA Gilbert was playing Higley. Higley, another top team right now. They lost 16-14. Gilbert walks away with the win by 2. Down the middle into traffic, and it was overthrown there. Can't really blame him, though. Nothing really looked right there, and he knew he just had to get it out before he was sacked. He threw that a little lower, though. Could have been intercepted, so I like the ability to make a smart throw there.
That's what I was just about to say. Eli Kramer Cronin was right there ready to pick that off. He's been wanting one all season long. Great job by Lucero Jr. to throw that ball over his head. It was incomplete, but at least it wasn't intercepted.
Now 2nd and 10. The Huskies don't want to burn up too much time here if they actually hope to win this game. They've got to go fast, and here comes Brown going fast. Good run there. That's what they need. Now you got to put the ball back. There's some physicality after the play, and Skylar Cole actually was the one running it there, and he gets a flag for that push after the play. Good run from him. Fortunate that he had to get that penalty because now he's going to walk back exactly how many yards he just got. Brown will take his place as he jogs off to the sideline.
Not only that, but you lose the down 2. You gain those yards. You got to 3rd and 2, and then you get a 15-yard penalty, and now you're 3rd and 17.
Just shows you cannot let your emotions get the best of you when you're out there. I'm sure it's super hard being a high schooler as well, right? It's just something that it takes a lot of mental strength to, have something happen out there and brush it off. And things like that, they can come back to haunt you. Now it's 3rd and 20 after the penalty. And a penalty way back at the 41-yard line, which is going to push back the Huskies even more in what looked like a drive that had some hope. A 3rd and 2. It's now a 3rd and 25 all the way back on their side of the field. With the Huskies being down by this much, you really have to be careful here. This is not what you want at all. 4-down territory most definitely here, but on 25 yards, it's going to be difficult. Lucero Jr. is going to take the scramble. He throws it into the hands of Brown, and that was a mistake there that you really don't want to do. He and Brown had relatively similar field position. They both had some open room to run, but he threw it over to Brown, who wasn't fully expecting it, and it bobbles out of his hands. Just take the yards there. Run for 5, even run for 10. It's 4th and 25. Now, you got to take anything you can get there.
Not really a great play there for the Hamilton Huskies. Like you said, 4th and 25 now. Got to punt it away. Basha, if they get one more score here, you got to think the game's over.
And I know they're punting it. I consider this 4-down territory. When you're down by this much, fumbled recovery there from Dash Blake. He's able to recover it, and then it's out again. We'll see who has it this time. There's some Hamilton players pointing their way.
A mishmash of defenders on that pile there.
We'll see what way it actually ends up going. I'm seeing claps and arms from Hamilton. It's tough to see down there in that pile. Dash Blake is still there fighting for the ball. See what they're pointing. And they're pointing Hamilton. We were just talking about how they need to go for it. Something needs to happen. And you just get bailed out there. Dash Blake, 2 fumbles on 1 play. It's almost like he didn't even fully mentally recover from that first one. He's just trying to get back up, and then it's hit out again. Unfortunate for the Bears, but exactly what the Huskies needed there, as they've now been gifted a chance on the 29-yard line to score.
Finally see the Huskies in Basha's territory. Other than that 1 touchdown drive they had this half, their offense has really done nothing. Let's see if they can convert and score probably a touchdown. You don't want just the 3 now.
And they've done nothing, but they've still had a touchdown score, which should say something more. Good pass out to the 25-yard line. That is reeled in by number 2, Sabram Torres.
Hamilton trying to conserve some time rushing to the line.
With under 6 minutes, down 22. You've got to conserve time here. Lucero, end zone pass, wide open. He's got his guy, but there's a flag. Oliver Jr. was open for the touchdown. We'll see if this comes back.
I just don't know what Caleb Garcia was doing on that play. He was looking at the quarterback the entire time. Oliver the third just ran right by him and scored the touchdown. Obviously, it's getting called back, but still not a great play by Caleb Garcia.
That's just got to sting. As a Hamilton fan, you have your chance there. With still 5:40 left on the clock, you've got 1 touchdown. To have it called back, it's got to be tough to deal with. Down 22, 2nd and 14 from the 29-yard line. The 39-yard line. Lucero on the ground, down the middle, takes it to his legs, and he's able to slide. That's what he needed to do earlier on this drive, is have the confidence to take off and run. We know that he does struggle outside of the pocket, but he can still get some scrambling plays. He just has to have faith that he can run for at least 5 yards.
That's a big play for the Huskies there. We had a second and very long converts it, shouldn't say converts it, but gets it a lot closer for now, just a 3rd and 6. And like you've been saying, this is 4-down territory for them now. Down by 3 scores. They've got 2 downs to get 6 yards.
But that clock is still ticking, most likely their biggest enemy right now. Good slant through the middle, fighting for yards. Logan James stepping up in a big moment like this to make catches when he's most needed.
We saw Eli Kramer-Cronin getting some pressure there. That's the downside of blitzing your linebackers. You got the middle of the field left open to slant route like that or a quick in. Really risky play by Basha there.
Lucero looks to his right. Here comes the scramble again. And he gets more than 5. He's on his feet. He's in for the touchdown. Did he hear me or something? He's taking my advice. And that's great for the Huskies there.
We saw multiple missed tackles on that play. Great play by Lucero Jr. But still, I feel like one of the Basha defenders should have tackled him.
35-19 with 4:14. Extra points are crucial here if you do look to make a tie. This one is good. It's 35-20 now. Bears lead by 15 with 4 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. It's going to take nothing short of a miracle here for the Hamilton Huskies to make a comeback, but hey, you never know on Friday Night Lights.
Looking at the AIA scene, Marana, the first-ranked team in the open division, defeated Casa Grande 45-0, pitching the shutout.
Here comes the onside kick. Dash Blake comes down with this one, is able to secure it. And what's interesting, and we're really going to go a lot more in depth with it during Inside the Den, is those open rankings. We talked to Coach McDonald before the game, and he said, you can't really look at those right now. He's like, we're going to keep winning each game, and that's all that matters. But what's interesting about the open, right, is you can have teams from 6A and 5A up there. Right now, even though Basha's number 1 in 6A, they're ranked 4th in the open, and there's 3 5A teams above Basha. And now that's interesting because you would typically think that a 6A team may be better than a 5A team. So to put 3 5A teams before any 6A team, and he just refused to go down there. Josh Gaines. You got to get a nickname for him, Tate. Some sort of angry runner, something like that. This kid he just refuses to go down.
Never gets tackled, just breaks through every tackle, just like we saw there. No one could bring him down. The only thing that got him down was the sideline, I guess.
But after this game, the Bears will get a well-deserved week off. They've played so many tough games. They've traveled. The teams that they've played have been tough. Not all of them have been clean sweep games. Here comes another run. He keeps it alive. Goes kind of, sideways there. He was trying to find an open hole the farther down he went. They tell you they'll run up the field, right? Don't run side to side. You saw a little bit of that there. And there is a Hamilton injury on the field. Another one for the Huskies tonight.
We've seen a lot of injuries this year on this field for Basha. We've talked a lot about how it could be the turf, or maybe it's just more injury-prone people getting injured. I feel like at this point there's got to be something to do with the turf. We've seen so many injuries this year, way more than we saw last year. I just don't know. I feel like at some point you got to start noticing that it might be the turf's fault.
Let me pose a hypothetical, actually. We'll make it a real question here, Tate. Let's say it is the turf. You've spent $6 million on this and your new building. It's not like you can take it out. So really, what is there to do? We can sit here and speculate as to if it's the turf, or we can talk about how people don't like turf or it's bad for players. We're not changing it. I'm not paying $6 million to take it back out again, you know? So it's something they're just going to have to learn to deal with and learn to play through, figuring out how to not get injured on the turf. I do agree with you, though. I think that there is some correlation between the two because it's just been such an uptick in the amount of injuries we've seen so far this year. Luckily, Bash has been pretty injury clean this game. Let's hope I don't jinx that here. Veers on the keeper. Ankle tackle gets him, but he's out past the 40.
Great job on the QB keeper there. Had the option to either hand it off or take it. He took it, gets the first down. Huge play for Basha.
And look at the amount of time they continue to take off the clock with these run plays. Hamilton starting to accept this defeat a little bit, knowing that there's not much that they can really do. Down 15. It would take 2 scores to even tie. You could win by 1 if you got 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Likelihood of that, not very high. .237 remaining. Pass out to his left is complete, and there's a fumble. Out of bounds. The fumble went Jaden Baldwin. Now there is a timeout.
Hamilton's second timeout of the half. They only have one more. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock. I mean, you can't count them out, but they've got a very slim chance of coming back in this game.
I still like the coaching that we've seen from Hamilton, right? This being their first season with their new head coach. I like their resilience. Aside from one play we saw with Cole, they've kept their head in the game, right? They haven't let their emotions get the best of them. And although Basha and Hamilton don't have the largest rivalry, there is still rivalry and bragging rights between this game. So I think that they've done a good job of keeping their heads up. I haven't seen players really dogging routes out there. They've continued to run tough. They've tried to score. And that's all you can ask as a coach of your players, is to give 100%, right? You may win games, you may lose games, but if your players are going out there and they trust in you, they trust in the system, it's hard to be mad at that. Second and 6. Roberts is tackled in the backfield. Loss of about 1. That'll bring up 3rd and 7-ish.
Hamilton not using their timeout here.
There are no 2-minute warnings in high school football. .15 seconds left on the play clock. Veer's still looking for a call from the sideline. Now 10 seconds remaining. Probably going to call a timeout, with about 1 second. It is 3rd and 8, so they want to make sure they can convert here. But the reason they're taking that timeout so late, right, is they want to run as much time off the clock as possible.
And right there, they ran 40 seconds off the clock. Hamilton not electing to use their timeout. I don't know if that's the best decision there. You use that timeout and Basha doesn't convert on this 3rd down. Maybe they would try to throw it since it's a 3rd and long. You could get the ball back.
And Perry versus Castile, another CUSD rivalry game right now. It's tied at 21-21. Stay tuned when we go more in-depth into Arizona football on our post-game show Inside the Den. Our guest today is going to be Eli Kramer-Cronin. That'll be a few minutes after the game. You don't have to leave or go to any other streams, this or that. Nope. You can just leave on the live broadcast you have on now. We'll come on a few short minutes after the game ends. We're going to recap the game, have on Eli, and then talk about Arizona football in general. Stay tuned. It's going to be our best one of the season. Also probably our last one, too. So, got to be the best, right? So a minute 39 now, 3rd and 8. If you're Basha, you're not sweating too much here. Even if you don't convert, the likelihood of, like we said, Hamilton getting 15 points in a minute 30 is still very unlikely. But if you do convert here, the game is essentially over. Save your defense the effort of going back out onto the field here. Not going to do anything crazy, though. Veers is going to drop back to pass. He gets it over into the hands of number 5, the one and only, Gio Richardson. That is a first down for the Bears, and the clock keeps running.
Gio Richardson really has been turning it up this second half. First half, didn't get many targets. We were talking about how maybe that's the reason why their offense wasn't really clicking. This half, we saw him with the 83-yard touchdown earlier. Now we get that big play. They've just been trying to get the ball in his hands, and it's been working.
A little bit, I mean, I don't like to use the word like slump or midseason slump, because if you even watch how he played at games like Mission Viejo, San Tradeo, Connor Brophy, he's still playing better than 90% of other receivers out there. But purely for himself, it was a bit of a slump. It's not the amount of yards that he's used to seeing, and I like the second half of this game. It makes me have high hopes for how he's going to do in these upcoming away games against Chandler, Castile, and Perry. You know, big 3 to finish out the year. I'm excited. You know, it gives me hopes that he's over this slump. And once again, this is for himself. He's pulling way more yards than anybody else out there.
Yeah, he's really started the season out great. Like you said, slow down a little bit, but still been playing great games. Mission Viejo, he actually got the first 6 points of the game with his kick return touchdown, but still playing great football.
Here comes a run as they're just going to chew off the rest of the time left on the clock. Hamilton, like we said, time just not on their side tonight, as even when they did start to get their offense going, it's too late.
Basha now lining up in what some would call victory formation, ready to kneel the ball out.
Veers takes one kneel, and they will have to kneel again one more time. And then this game will be marked as a W in the books for the Bears. Perry right now, there's less than 4 minutes left. That game is still tied 21-21 against Castile. Now, Castile has been a team that's been rebuilding. Not that they've ever been the most top team in Arizona, but they've been struggling to rebuild. So the fact that they're keeping in the game with Perry, that says something about their willingness to win that rivalry game. Let's also take a look at Pinnacle versus Liberty. There's less than 3 minutes in that game, which is tied at 29 as well. We'll come back to you with all the scores and highlights and Inside the Den coming up in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Today our guest is number 44, Eli Kramer-Cronin, the stud linebacker for the Bears. Final score of the game is 35-20. Bears win.
Final score, Huskies of Hamilton 20, your Basha Bears 35.
extremely proud of you guys, okay? You guys have been battling 7 games in a row, okay? Grinding for 7 weeks, okay? And look at the position you guys put yourself in, okay? We got a much-needed break, all right? You guys are off Saturday through Tuesday, okay? Nothing. We're going to practice Wednesday and Thursday. I'll send it out. I'm going to give you guys Friday off because you guys haven't had Friday off in a really long time, okay? Then we'll just do Saturday film. That's it, okay? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, Saturday film. You good?
Sir.
Hey, extremely proud of you guys. Okay? That's the first step, securing our first goal, region championship. You know what I'm saying? All right? Great team win. You guys battled, you competed, O-line, you answered the bell in the second half. That was a fantastic job. Okay, that's mental toughness right there. That's mental toughness right there. Okay, defense, you guys were flying all over the field. Okay, you guys played a phenomenal game right there. Couldn't ask for anything more. Okay, great job. I'm going to let the Fiesta Bowl Classic team come out and present player of the game. Okay, enjoy yourselves tonight.
Basha Bears. That's the best team we've seen all year. That's the best team. You guys are the best team we've seen all year. All right, keep it going. Let's see you in the open. All right, we'll see you down the road. We got a player of the game belt, and it was hard. Like Coach said, defense flying all over the field. I got like 10 names on offense, but it has to go to our boy Gio. Where's he at? Johnny! My boy Johnny!
Okay. Then highlights. Welcome to Inside the Den, Basha's post-game show. I'm Emmett Morris.
I'm Jaden Ricken.
And I'm Tate Fitzpatrick.
And we're here after the Basha Bears just took down crosstown rival, the Hamilton Huskies, for the final score of 35-20. Tate, what are your thoughts on tonight's game?
I think Basha played a really great game. The defense was able to hold Hamilton to only 20 points, while the offense was able to put 35 on the board.
Yeah, the defense had a great game tonight, getting pressure on the quarterback, especially Eli Kramer-Corning with that big sack in the third quarter. Jaden, just talk me through that play, what you saw.
Well, I thought it was such a great game overall. We saw so much pressure on Rich Lucero Jr., Hamilton's QB, and we also saw a lot of that duality on Basha's offense. I think we saw both sides of the duality. We saw Brody Veer's ability to be able to throw deep, make those little check down passes, and his ability to scramble. And then the other duality I saw is Basha's running game. With star running backs like Noah Roberts and Josh Gaines, they have become such a versatile offense. I talked about it up in the booth, but I truly think that this is the most well-rounded offense Basha has ever had.
Yeah, talking to Coach Mack this week, he says his goals were to establish the running game and were to get pressure on the quarterback. Basha succeeded in both areas tonight, and that's one of the reasons why they won this game. Tate, talking to Coach Mack before the game, what else did he have to really say about tonight's game?
He said that they wanted to minimize the mental errors and not let the Bears get as many flags as some people say they did this game. The last couple of games, they've been getting a lot of penalties, and they've been losing a lot of yards. This game, there was a lot in the beginning, but then it slowed down towards the end.
Yeah, another key from Mack was to play discipline, or play more discipline than Hamilton. They certainly did that tonight, with Hamilton getting a lot of false starts tonight, too. So we're going to run through the highlights and see how tonight worked out. So let's start off with, in the first quarter, we had Brody Veers throwing a touchdown pass to Gio Richardson to put the Bears up 7-0. Now let's go to the second quarter, where Brody, in deep trouble, just taking it all the way to the end zone, and a great block right there by Gio Richardson and Cass Brock to be able to score for a touchdown. Obviously a little bit of extracurricular activity there, throwing the flag.
I love his ability fighting there right on the goal line, his ability to push in, and then here's a deep pass all the way back of the end zone catch. Gio Richardson, one of the top receivers in the state, showing why on plays like that every single game.
Yeah, in the second quarter, and a big third down, again, establishing QB pressure. They got there, and a big tackle there by Blue Dantzler. And again in the second quarter, a big hit there by linebacker Caleb Garcia, keeping the Hamilton minimizing their damage. And then back again, we just have to take another look at this big play from Brody, man. Just establishing his physicality, his run
watch
game.
That hit there. He's fighting, and even though he's a little aggressive after the play, I like that because it shows how fired up he is to get in the end zone to make a score like that. Overall, I think it's a really good job. Then look at the pressure. Eli Cronin gets in there. He gets the sack. We have him coming up for an interview after this. His ability to put pressure on the quarterbacks is unmatched.
Yeah, and then we have this nice spin move for a touchdown by 4-star Noah Roberts. Obviously a little bit extracurricular after there, but seems to be all cool. And now going back into the fourth quarter to really seal the game was a touchdown run by Josh Gaines, put the Bears up 28-6. Perry started fighting back a little bit, but the Bears really just took care of business, winning the game by 15. So Jaden, what can the Bears really improve on from this going in 2 weeks against Chandler?
Well, look, Coach Mack talks a lot about discipline and playing smart football. We saw a few penalties early, and we saw a lot of that earlier in the season. I think if one thing that Basha could improve on, it would be not doing those penalties, watching plays like that. Everything else, they're firing on all cylinders. The run game, the pass game, the scramble game, the pass rush game, everything else they're doing excellently. It's cleaning up mental mistakes like that to get rid of small little penalties. Besides that, I think Basha is still the top team in Arizona. They've continued to just show week after week nobody can stop them. And even when they go up against a top 10 team in the nation like Mission Viejo, they're holding out right until the end.
Yeah, going back to what you said about Bash being the top team, we all saw the open rankings this week. A lot of people had a lot of concerns. But talking to Coach Mack this week before the game, he said just to quiet out the noise, block out the noise. And that's what they did tonight. They were able to come in here, get their work done, and their goal as of everyone is just to be better than you were before. And so far, Bash has been playing better every single week. Every single game has looked better than the last one.
Let's welcome on player of the game, Eli Cronin. Pleasure to have you here. Eli, come on in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excited to have you out here. Great game, man. You put so much pressure on Lucero Jr. What was your guys' message as a defensive going into this game?
It was simply no mercy, specifically from Coach Mack, and we were just trying to start off hot so they would have no energy at the end.
And you had a few sacks throughout the game. You had one actually where you got him by the ankle. It was such a great play. How is that something that you specifically work on? Because you seem to be one of the people putting the most pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
Well, we work pass rush all the time, and it's nothing we don't work throughout the week. And yeah, I mean, we put in the work, so that's what the outcome we get.
Going back to that big sack in the third quarter that I think really just shut down Hamilton. Just take me through that play. What were you thinking going into that play, and what were you thinking rushing the quarterback there trying to get that sack?
I was just trying to get in the backfield and make an explosive play, and happened to do so.
So what was the defensive game plan coming in here tonight? I know a lot of it was pressure the quarterback, which you guys did a great job doing tonight. Just what did Coach Mack really tell you guys pregame to do tonight to be able to win this game?
Like I said, we just wanted to start off hot so they had no energy, and we wanted to stop on their necks right away.
You were involved a lot in the pass rush this game, a lot more than usual. Usually you drop back into a zone. How was that today?
It was nice. It's nice getting to switch it up and get in the backfield.
You stepped up into this leadership role here on the defense last year after some injuries. You were a young guy out there on the field, sophomore. Now you're a junior, leading basically the entire defense out there. You guys had several injuries again this year. What is it like to lead this sort of team at the age that you're at?
These are my boys, man. We're a family out here, so we just work as a band of brothers.
Band of brothers, I like that.
So you had a really front-loaded home schedule. Tonight was your last game here at home until maybe the playoffs. You have a bye, and then you have 3 big games against CUSD teams. What kind of mindset do you guys have to be in to go into these games?
That we're the best in the state, and no one can hang with us, especially in the Chandler region, where we got rivals all over the place. So we'll be coming with a chip on our shoulder.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Emmett just said, how are you guys going to prepare for those games? Are you going to watch film? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we're going to watch film. We study all the time. We play them every year, so it's nothing new. It's just another team we're going to play. We're not worried about it.
So you guys just played seven straight games. Now you're going into a bye week. How are you feeling after going into the bye week, going 6-1?
I feel good. I'm definitely going to take a nice break for the body, but yeah, we feel good coming back into it too.
Eli, if I can leave you with one final thing, what's one word or like one phrase you would use to describe your defense?
Explosive and dominant.
Explosive and dominant. You love to hear it. Eli, thanks for coming out. Heck of a game today. Good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you, guys.
Game, Eli.
Thank you.
And stay tuned, guys. The fun isn't over here on Inside the Den, as now we're going to get into the Arizona football scene. Let's take a look around the state. Emmett, you get into it first.
Yeah, obviously the game of the week was right here at Basha against Hamilton. A lot of people would have thought Hamilton would have come in here and actually upset Basha. That, however, wasn't the case, as Basha played a complete game both offensively and defensively. And speaking of upsets, there's been a lot of chaos, especially with the defending state champions, Liberty Lions, as before the show, we got word that they were tied 29-29 with Pinnacle at home, and Liberty was driving down the field at the 3-yard line. It was about 4th down with under a minute left. We do not currently know the results of that game, if Liberty ended up making that game-winning field goal or Pinnacle. There was some more chaos there where Pinnacle ended up blocking the field goal or missed the field goal. And it's just crazy to think that you never know. Like, you can't take anyone seriously, especially here in Arizona.
I've been a big proponent, I think, of some teams that I don't necessarily I don't think they're necessarily as good as some people will make them out to be. One of those games right now is the Perry Pumas are taking on the Castile Colts. They're tied 21-21. It just went to overtime. The Perry Pumas have been a team that have really restructured this year. They lost quarterback Diesel Taylor in place. Now they have one of their alumni coaches, right? They have one of their greats out there. You have somebody like Cale Snyder, who's now their quarterback. His father played in the NFL. He was a lineman. He played for the 49ers for a little bit. And let me tell you a thing or two about the Perry Pumas. They have a rivalry with Basha. We all know that. A lot of people remember the game we had last year. They were on the verge of kind of the open. They ended up going into the 6A playoffs last year, and now they're playing a team like Castile, which if you look here at our open division rankings, is nowhere to be seen. You have teams like Marana, Desert Mountain, Higley, Basha, Brophy. These are your top teams. Perry is supposed to be one of these teams that is really getting into that upper echelon. They're going to be a potential open division contender, and now you're in overtime against the Castile Colts. This might have more to say about the Pumas than you might think.
Right, and Basha plays Perry in approximately 4 weeks at Perry, so that would be an interesting game. Going back to those open rankings, you see number 1 and number 2 were both Marana and Desert Mountain. They both won. Number 3, Higley, they actually did get upset with a final score of 16-14 to ALA Gilbert North, and that really surprises not only just me, but pretty much everyone in Arizona. And it'll be very interesting to see when those rankings come out next week, where does Basha land and where does other teams such as Higley, and not even just Higley, like the teams at 5, 6, 7, ALA, Liberty, and all those teams, we'll see where they rank after this week.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to see how that will shape up to be, because we were talking about it. We've talked to all the coaches about it. There were 3 5A teams ranked above all the 6A teams in the open division. Obviously, we said Higley lost this week. Marana destroyed, who was it that they were playing?
They played Casa Grande.
Casa Grande. They destroyed them. Basha, they beat Higley, another 6A school. There's these 6A schools that are kind of being like too low in the rankings, I feel like, and they should be higher up. And I think that they should be put above those 5A teams.
And that's what Coach Mack was saying to us before the game, that yes, these rankings are here, and yes, that there's 3 5A teams above any 6A teams, but you can't look at that now. It's 1 week at a time. Basha knows their skill level. They're not worried about what the rankings are. Last year, the rankings kind of came down to the wire, and we got moved up a spot that not a lot of people expected right on the day that the playoff bracket was released. You never know what could happen. I definitely do see Basha rising up the rankings in this, but like Coach Mack said, does it really matter? You have 4 weeks left of the season. You guys are playing at the top caliber of your play. There's nothing to stress about. However the bracket gets made, it's how it's going to get made. Worry about what you can control. And right now, what the Bears can control is a high level of football, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, they have 3 big games, in-city games left against Chandler, Castile, and Perry. But those big games are all easily winnable games. Like I said earlier, the goal is usually to be better than you were the week prior, and that's what Basha has been doing. And if they can do that, going into Chandler, going into Castile, and going into Perry, all being better than the last game, they should be able to walk out of the season with a 9-run record and a top 2 spot in the Open Division playoffs.
Moving on, the Liberty Lions, we just got the final score. They won 32-29 against Pinnacle. Closer game than many thought they would be, but they were able to hit that game-winning field goal to go on and win this game.
Liberty dropped quite a bit in the rankings. They had that, a little bit of a struggle at the start of the season. A win like this surely is going to help them climb back up, but we know that they've been the top team in the state. They won the state championship last year. They got knocked off in the semifinals against Saguaro the year before, the year that Basha won the championship. They've been this dominant powerhouse threat, so to finally see them drop to the lower rankings, I got to think that it's not going to be permanent and that they still have a decent chance of climbing up.
Yeah, but don't be surprised if they get dropped 1 or 2 spots this week because of that close loss to Pinnacle. However, what you just said, they're probably doing the same thing that Bash is doing, taking it 1 game at a time. And we all know if Liberty can win out, which everyone thinks they should definitely be a top 2 seed, top 3 seed going into the Open State Champions. And once again, competing and contending for the back-to-back Open State Championship.
And a little update on the Castile-Perry game. That's in overtime, but right now the Colts have the ball on Perry's 5-yard line. They're in that scoring range, and if the Castile Colts are able to upset the Perry Pumas in this game, man, would that shake up the 6A rankings a little bit. So hopefully that can get done soon, and we can update you guys on that. But if not, just know that we enjoyed having you guys stay with us throughout this season. We know we've had a slew of technical difficulties from down here on Inside the Den to up there in the booth. But to every and each one of you viewers out there, thank you guys for staying with us, for bearing with us. We're a fully student-ran network. We appreciate everybody out there, everybody who helps us here at our live streams. We couldn't do it without you guys. It's been a great season. It's been a great regular season. We're still going to be at away games, so if you want to see us while we're recording highlights, come say hi. Tate doesn't bite. But we really do hope that we will be back for a playoff game. Hopefully we can see you then. If not, it's been a pleasure to be with you guys this season. We really enjoyed it all. Anything you guys want to say?
Yeah, I just want to thank Glenda Skalitsky, our teacher, for giving us this opportunity to be able to do this. She works her butt off every single week, every single day, and we just couldn't be able to do this without her. So thank you for everything you've done for us. So with that being said,
I'm taking some words in.
I'd like to thank this guy over here, Jaden.
Oh, you're too
Jaden
kind.
Riken. You taught me a lot this year on how to be a good commentator and how to actually apologize too. I had to apologize in the booth up there.
Jaden who again?
Jaden Riken right here. So very happy that you were able to do that for me.
I appreciate that, Tate. I appreciate what you've done for this program. And guys, Tate, he's got a few more years here at Basha. I'm a senior, so this will be my last year as a Basha student. Who knows? You never know what might happen. Maybe I return next year, but Tate's got some future here, so if you guys are willing to invest in Tate's future, I've tried to pass on what I've learned from him. Obviously, he's a natural. He's got all the talent, so I appreciate that, Tate. And the Castile Colts did just score. It's 27-21 now. We're waiting to see what the final score will be, but Castile looking like they may win this upset game.
Right, and Perry still gets the ball too. Perry can still score and maybe even win the game if they have a 2-point conversion. However, we won't be able to update with you because we are unfortunately out of time. So with that being said, I'm Emmett Morris.
I'm Jaden Ricken.
I'm Tate Fitzpatrick.
And we thank you all for...
Let me get one last thing in here, Emmett. Thank you, Glenda Skalitsky. Big G, as we like to call her. She does so much for us. If you are a parent out there, or if you're wondering how to get involved with this program, come to Basha. There's no other program like us out there. We'd love to have you. Our teacher would love to have you. We want to give thanks to everybody out there. We're the Basha Bear Network. I just want to make sure that you guys know what we're all about before we go. I just love doing this so much, and we couldn't do it without you guys.
Thank you for that, Jaden.
Oh, you're welcome.
Trying to advertise for the future, the future of this program. As a senior myself too, I want to leave the program in some good hands, and I'm pretty sure Tate's going to do a pretty good job with it. Everyone else behind the scenes is going to do a pretty good job with it, and I know Coach G is going to continue running this program well. So with that being said, I'm Emmett Morris.
I'm Jaden Ricken.
I'm Tate Fitzpatrick.
And we thank you all for bearing with us this season, and we hope the Basha Bears can continue to dominate and win the state championship.